drunk at the hilly. I can't PD and I can't find my willy. I'm just here for a little attention. Yeah, I got severe hypertension. So why you trying to get to know a Higgy better? Can't and whores, Bella's mom and Schmarietta. I don't know, I'll give it a go. ATF's big show, I ain't no hoe. I don't need a new man with a double D rack. Never mind, Higgy, your game is whack. You're the whacker to my weed. Your game is whack. I'm not trying to hear that, see? I'm not one of the girls trying to get locked down. Prince Higgy, baby, Jameson Crown. I get down with the Hilly low comp ticket. 16 whiskeys is how I kick it. And you get excited for a midnight snack. I already told you, your game is whack. You're the whacker to my weed. Your game is whack. I'm not trying to hear that, see? Your game is whack. You're the whacker to my weed. Your game is whack. I'm not trying to hear that. I like sleeping alone. This won't go all night. A little needy and strange. It's true love at first sight. I'm the real deal. I do what I gotta do. From the rip, my whole heart's for you. Your whole heart is not for me. Not a half, not a quarter, not a claw, not a re. You know what's the problem? You're trouble and you're hot. I'm big, thick neck daddy Higgy. He's not. I got a question, not to be rude. Are you queer? Cause you keep calling me dude. Are you glad that you had walked me out? No self-doubt and you didn't cop out. No last words, I'll just mutter abide. Don't diss the caterpillar and sweat the butterfly. All of them girls must have got you gas. And when they see a good thing, they don't triple bypass. Well, for this town, that's right on track. Cause for me, your game's too whack. You're the whacker to my weed. Your game is whack. I'm not trying to hear that, see? Game is whack. You're the whacker to my weed. Your game is whack. I'm not trying to hear that. What am I? Another pretty face getting you a drink from my military base? All I gotta know is why did you use me? You talking? Psh, excuse me. We can't have nothing. You wear it depends. Well, if we ain't getting married, then we can't be friends. Well, then I guess it's nothing. Well, hey, I think you're puffing. Well, pass that weed. I won't weed whack nothing. You better catch a flashback. Remember, you ain't tapping it. You ain't my style, and I'm not having it. All I remember from that late night kiss is I'm more the mister, you're more the miss. Well, look, I treat you good. Treat yourself better. And I always call my mom. Write her a love letter. I greet you every day with a martini at the door. You won't last a year, you're overgrown bed sore. Well, I'm known in this town, and now that's a piss. I got no one to blame but myself and Melissa. You didn't answer me, Karen. Am I a good kisser? Don't remember, had a lot of Hennessy. A lot of girls out there that won't say no. The ones you take to your crib with 𝗺cie. Boom, now all my feelings is getting...
Welcome to the Weekend Live Show.
508 is where I'm from.
We run down the biggest stories of the week with you every Saturday night. Let us know in the comments right now where you reppin'.
Apache Junction, Taunton, Worcester, Long Island, Manchard, South Florida, Webster, Malden, Framingham, Tucson, Billerica, Salem, Gloucester, Moosop, Connecticut, Charleston, South Carolina, Roslindale, Moosop, Connecticut, London, Hanson, Glendale, Arizona, Lynn, Mapleville, Quincy.
Food stands, leave your clothes, buddy, and
hey, you a funny ass guy, man.
Have you ever heard of Turtleboy? Yeah? Are you a fan?
508 is where I'm from.
Hey, what's up?
508 is where I'm from.
How was that?
You a friggin' idiot. Stop telling people that I'm mentally deranged and stupid.
Call me Aidan. I'm not a doctor, but...
Get out of my store, please.
You're a fucking loser.
You are a loser.
You're not a journalist. You're nobody.
You're not turtle hair. Don't make such fun of the criminal justice system.
NFL on the house, blog that.
Let's get this party.
And I will not be intimidated. I will not be silenced. And we will continue on our journey for justice for John O'Keefe and for Karen Reed.
Tick, tick, boom. Boys, go baby, we bringing out toys. Boys, chopper be singing, should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets.
Karen Reed has supporters who've shown up in large numbers.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this, so it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ape, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. An outpouring of support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer. Unbelievable situation. Never seen anything like it.
Tick, tick, boom. You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me?
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ape, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. It's go, 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 go time.
Tick, tick, boom.
Boom. What's up, turtle people? How's everyone doing out there tonight? Good? Good. Excellent. Welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aidan Kearney. You can call me a variety of things if you'd like. You can call me 𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃. That's my true crime name. You can also, it's also my Facebook name. Follow me on there for my morning bus stop lives updates. They took away my Clarence Woods Emerson account probably a little over a month ago, but we built up this new page to like, how many followers I got on there now? I got like 12,000 followers and 5,000 friends. That's like 17,000 followers on there. Just like that. I do my morning bus stop lives from there. Go follow it right now. 𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃. Just had a good time on the LV Cops. Thank you. First time on there with those fine gentlemen, upstanding former police officers in the big city of sin. But yeah, so you can call me 𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. You can call me Uncle Turtleboy. I prefer doctor if I'm being perfectly honest with you, because if Jim Crosby gets to be a doctor, then, you know, so am I. You can call me, what else can you call me? I don't know. Whatever. Oh, wait, Daddy. You definitely call me Daddy. Not forced. I can understand it could be a little weird for some people, but it could be a little fun for others too. So, you know, Daddy plays as far as I'm concerned, but it's not mandated. So that's kind of weird. I get it. For some people, especially the guys, the 20%, as we call them. You can call me, like I said, Journalism Jesus. I really don't care what you call me. Just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. sharp. And make sure you smash that subscribe button for me. How many subs are we up to now? My YouTube subs have passed my Twitter. The fuck is that? Yeah, my YouTube subs have passed my Twitter followers. Let's see what we're up to now. We are up to 127,129, just like that. So that's pretty cool. So I am planning on doing this every night that there is a trial date, right? So a day in court, I'll be doing a live show every night. So that means probably not Monday night because it's Memorial Day, but definitely Tuesday, Wednesday, sex cult on Thursday, then back at it on Saturday. It'll be good. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there watching right now who are not subbed up, right? Oh wow. Oh. Anyway, somebody just sent me a picture of, they go, oh, I got a picture of 𝗵𝗺cie and 𝗃𝗄𝗎 at the event on Wednesday together. And I'm like, what? And I look at it, it's a picture of two pigs dancing. Okay, I get it. All right. So I got a little excited there. But anyway, yeah, so if it's your first time here, welcome aboard. We have a good time here breaking down all sorts of stuff in a different kind of way. It's not your typical law tube channel because I'm not a lawyer. I might be a doctor, but I'm not a lawyer yet. I feel like I would be a good one, but I'm not there yet. I'm not licensed, so I haven't passed the bar. I don't pass many bars. So, you know, but I still feel like I can keep it real. You know, I'm fighting. I'm an activist. You know, I'm a journalist, an activist. I am a satirist. And, you know, if you guys didn't see the news on Monday, the 6 of the charges against me are dropped. A bunch are not. So I still have to fight on with the charges that were dropped against me were the 3 conspiracy charges against the Proctors and Jennifer McCabe from when me and I published a article about how Jennifer McCabe was at the Proctor's household and they said that I conspired with Janelle Webb to do that. The Avon dispatcher, which is just completely untrue. And we definitely didn't conspire to commit witness intimidation. She just ran a license plate for me. She didn't even know what it was for. It got dropped. The witness intimidation charges against Michael Proctor and 𝗵𝗂𝗺 have been dropped. The judge didn't really explain why those two were dropped. I think he just didn't want to put it in writing that, like, this is embarrassing that two grown-ass men with guns and badges claim that they're intimidated by something called Turtleboy. So those are dropped. And so is the picketing charge against Michael Proctor, because he wasn't home for the rolling rally. But Brian Albert also wasn't home for the rolling rally. So we're going to be filing a motion for reconsideration with that, because if he's saying that if you're not home for the rolling rally, you can't be a victim of picketing, then that should be dropped. You know what I mean? So anyway, we'll see what happens. But I still have like all of the witness intimidation charges, the felony ones, against Julie Nagel, Chris Albert, Colin Albert, Jennifer McCabe, Matt McCabe, and Elizabeth Proctor. Those are the ones I have remaining. Okay. And I have the picketing charges, which are minor. Like, I'm not even worried about those, against Jennifer McCabe, Matt McCabe, Brian Albert, and Julie Nagel. So I got 4 of those left. Those are misdemeanors, though. The felony ones, those come with like community service and shit. Like the other ones come with 10-year prison sentences each. So I'm still facing 60 years in jail just for the McAlberts for those. So, you know, I'm pretty fucking confident nothing's going to happen. Like if we brought this to trial, I'd win. But you never, after meeting Ronnie the juror, you know, you never know. No offense to Ronnie, but like, I mean, he was just reporting what happened inside that courtroom. And you're like, well, it's just 12 people. Like, it's like 12 people. What if they don't understand the First Amendment? You know, what if like they're going to try to paint me? And what if Jennifer McCabe manipulates them? Like, she's a master manipulator. What, like, and we all know she's full of shit. We know. But what about if somebody, like, what if the jury gets packed with McAlbert supporters? It's in their county, not mine. You know, so there's a lot to consider there about how we're going to fight this. And, you know, although I was happy to see, you know, 6 charges go away, you know, of course, I'm literally fighting for my life. Like, and the way I look at this too, it's like, I have a lot of thinking to do. I got a lot of thinking to do with this, because as much fun as it would be to take on the establishment, right? Take this to trial, beat these people at this, you know, be a soldier for the First Amendment, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's kind of selfish on my part if I don't think about everything in a bigger picture here, because like there's 2 people really who are, you know, my kids who need their father, period. And it's like, I can't play with fire. Like, under no circumstances can I be away from them. See what I'm saying? So like, I can't be the guy who is like a martyr for the First Amendment. I can't do it. You know, I just can't. If it was just me, maybe I would, like, okay, if I got convicted or something, sentenced to jail, I fight on, you know, we get this overturned in the Supreme Court. And that's like, but you're in jail for that. You know, you have to be convicted first for that to happen. And I can't do that. Like, I can't, it's not something I can afford to do, because it's not just me. There's other considerations I have to take into this. There's other people who are counting on me. So like, you know, so whatever, but I'm in great hands. I have great attorneys, with Mark Betterow and Tim Bradel, and we're going to fight on, and the truth is the truth. And the truth is that I did not intimidate any witnesses, that I didn't attempt to intimidate any witnesses, that I never threatened physical harm on anyone, which I know doesn't really matter, because the witness intimidation statute in this state simply says that you can cause emotional harm, which can't be measured. You just have to take their word for it. And also, like, how do you prove intent? Intent is the big thing, right? Like, a big part of witness intimidation is you have to intend, The statute says whoever, willfully attempts to cause physical harm, emotional harm, or financial harm for the purposes of, with the intent to disrupt an ongoing legal proceeding, right? With the intent to. And so thus far, intent has been defined by however they decide it is. They decide my intent. They decide, well, why do you think he's doing this to you? Because he doesn't want me to testify, right? That's not why. Why have I been doing? And that's a great question. Why did I do all this? Like 2 years ago today, I'll show you what I did 2 years ago today. If you guys have never seen this video, this happened on May 24th, 2023. This is the first time I'd ever met Jennifer McCabe. This is how our time went.
Hey, Lally, are you in on the cover-up, or are you just a useless government stooge? Mr. Lally, why are you lying about Jen McCabe's kids not being in that photo with Michael Proctor? It's clearly them, Mr. Lally. Are you in on the cover-up? Are you worried about going to jail? Mr. Lally, you should be. Jen, why did you Google how long did I in cold at 2:27 in the morning, Jen? Any comment on that? Any comment on that? I see you guys wearing Justice for JJ shirts. How can you wear those buttons when you covered up his murder? Any comment on that? Why you Googled that at 2:27?
Yeah, she looks really intimidated.
Any comment, Mr. McCabe? Any comment? How can you show your face in court? Aren't you embarrassed? Aren't you ashamed? What are you hiding? What did you do? Why did you delete all those phone calls, Ms. McCabe? Why did you delete all those phone calls? Why did you delete your Google search, Ms. McCabe? Mr. McCabe, I believe you said that you saw Karen Reed drive south on Fairview Road. Oh, excuse me, sir. Nice to see you guys got dressed up for court, though. Looking sharp. Looking sharp. So, I believe you guys both said that you saw Karen Reed drive south. Is that correct? South? So then how could she do a 3-point turn then if she was traveling south on that road? Any comment on that? No? Make sense to you? Why were you up at 4:53 in the morning, Miss McCabe? Why didn't you go to sleep? Were you drinking that night? You often drink a lot of alcohol, go to the bar, and then stay up till 4:53. Truth and justice, we're looking for it right now. We're looking for it. A Boston police officer was murdered in cold blood. And these people right here, who you're looking at, these people right here, they covered it, participated in the murder of a Boston police officer. These are cop killers, ladies and gentlemen. That's a cop killer right there. Cop killer, cop killer. That's what you are. That's all you're ever going to be, is a cop killer. Disgusting. Disgusting. All right. So, guys.
Yeah, so those were the days. Those were the days. Yeah, notice that, like, there's so many less people there now. Like, that's how there's no Hardo or any police. Like, I used to just roam free out there. Like, I could just go up to McAlbert's and ask them questions. You couldn't get within 100 yards of these people now. They are, like, the most heavily protected people in America now. But back in the day, you could just go up to them and, like, ask them questions. And, you know, as a reporter, I want to do that. Like, it called me crazy. I see this woman here who, according to a Cellbrite report, Googled how long to die in cold at 2:27 and deleted a whole bunch of suspicious phone calls, including 2 calls to her sister that were answered at 6:07 and 6:08. And nobody knows who Jessica Hyde or Ian Whiffen is at this time, right? So it's like, this is what it says you did. So why did you do that? And I'm like, and she just doesn't answer. And you saw Ted Daniel at the beginning there. He's trying to ask her questions too. He's not charged with witness intimidation. So what part of what I did was, because I got indicted for that video right there that you just saw, that I could go to jail for 20 years for that video, because Matt McCabe and Jen McCabe both said that they were intimidated by that encounter because I asked them questions. and I called them cop killers. That's like what they say is the intimidation. I called them cop killers, which the facts show that they are, right? They participated in the murder of a beloved Boston police officer named Officer John O'Keefe. And so, yeah, I mean, if you can't yell cop killers at two people who killed the cop, then who can you yell cop killer at? And it's also like this thing called the First Amendment, where you're allowed to tell people that you're allowed to express your opinion in public. You're allowed to ask people questions, which I did in that video. And then you're allowed to opine, and you're allowed to be an activist, which I kind of switched from journalist mode to activist mode in there. I gave them a chance. I asked them a bunch of questions. They didn't want to talk. At no point do either of them say, please go away, or I don't want to answer any questions. She just stands there with that smug smile on her face, and then goes out and acts like a victim to the grand jury. She's just a normal mom, walking around with a psychotic look on her face outdoors, chewing gum, like she's not bothered by any of this. And that was the last hearing that she attended until January. She does not attend another Karen Read hearing until I'm in jail. The mechanisms, she tried to get a restraining order on me a week later, failed. And then I went to her kid's lacrosse game and I interviewed her there. You know, my thing was, I'm like, you want to act like you're just, they wanted to just, people are like, why don't you do this to Brian Albert and Brian Higgins? Oh, you're only doing this to a woman. Well, 𝗄𝗲𝗄𝗃 isn't really a woman. He's got bigger tits than most of them, but he's still a guy, right? But Brian Albert and Brian Higgins did it the way you're supposed to. They just kept a low profile. Like, they didn't go out and they didn't wear 𝗃•■ for JJ buttons at fucking Karen Read's hearings. That's absurd what they were doing. They were showing up to Karen Read's hearings and everyone knows what they did. And they're sitting there with 𝗃■ for JJ buttons on. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm like, how is no one else asking? Why am I the only one asking these questions? Right? Why am I the only one asking these questions? And so, you know, I could go to jail for 20 years for that video. And, you know, it's all up to her. Like, she can just get in front. We've seen what she can do on the stand. She can get up on that stand and lie like nothing. But she can just get up there and say, because she did it with the grand jury, you know, she gets up there and she just says straight up, you know, my phone almost fell, that, oh, I didn't, you know, I'm so scared. Oh, we're just in it. We're just normal moms. Oh, we were so intimidated by this, and I didn't know what he was going to do. And blah, blah. She's not intimidated by shit. She sends me John Como nudes a month later on July 1st, 2023. She sends me naked pictures of another man, half naked. Well, 90% naked pictures. He was wearing tidy whities, I believe. But other than that, you know, so, all right, cool. Anyway, that's my tangent there. If you guys want to have your messages read out loud to the class tonight, we can't do turtle chats. We can't do super chats, but we can do turtle chats. You click at the link at the top for turtle chats, and you can pay whatever amount of money you want. And when you do that, you will get, or I will get a notification that you paid, and you get to write whatever message you want. And I'll read your message out loud to the class, or you can, you know, you can send me a Cash App, a $ Uncle Turtleboy, and we can do it that way. All right, so let me start off. Let's see what we got here. Okay. All right, the turtle you know sends $19. Let me read his. Hold on. And says, sheesh, John McClane, I mean Unk, way to kill it on LV Cop Show. Thank you. I was watching Bettero earlier on Brother Council. He was on a couple days ago with him, right? I hope Karen's defense team takes his advice. Fucking chef's kiss. We are lucky to have a journalist like you here in Massachusetts, because honestly, dude, who else would go this hard to protect our rights? Thank you, brother. Pacers in 4. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Yeah, you know, I am a huge 𝗺rie 𝗬𝗏 fan now, even though he didn't even have a good game yesterday. Pascal the Rascal had like 40 points, something like that last night. But man, Pacers are good. I mean, they're going to lose to the Thunder. The Thunder are going to fucking destroy everyone. As soon as the Celtics were eliminated, the Thunder won the title. Like that was going to be a good matchup. I honestly think the Thunder would have beaten us because they're fucking awesome, man. The Thunder were fucking legit. They're legit. I don't know if we have any Okies out there, but any Okie Turtle Riders, but they are the real deal. I know they're the Thunder, so it's kind of like they're a franchise that's not ever supposed to win, but they're gonna win it this year. And it's too bad because the Pacers are a very likable team. Usually they're not, but they are now. And 𝗺𝗃 𝗺𝗁𝗺𝗺's just fucking fun to watch, man. Like I would trade Jaylen Brown for 𝗺𝗃 𝗺𝗁𝗺 2 seconds, and without even thinking twice about it. And I think anybody with a brain would do that. Not that I like Jaylen Brown a lot, but there's that. And the Knicks fans, they're so pissy. These people, again, I had nothing against Knicks fans, and it's not because they beat us, because I don't give a shit that they beat us. I got over that shit in 5 seconds. Dude, when you're the champs like us, we're the reigning champs. Okay. And until someone else wins a championship while Jason Tatum is healthy, we're still the champs. So I don't care who wins it this year. We're still the champs. Okay. And if Jason Tatum's hurt next year, then we're still the champs after that, because you have to beat us when we're healthy or else it doesn't count. All right. And so we're the champs. And so I don't really give a shit if we lost to the Knicks, because we'll be back. We won last year. If that doesn't work out, Patriots will be good again in a year or two. We'll be fucking back. Red Sox eventually will get good. The Bruins will get, not right now, but whatever. Like, we'll be fine. All we do around here is win, right? If you were born in like 1995 or 96 in Boston, all you've seen your entire fucking life is championships. Parade after parade after parade after parade after parade. It never fucking stops. Okay. All we do is win championships. So, oh yeah, we lost to the fucking Knicks. Think I give a fuck if we lost to the Knicks? Whatever. Have your fun. But it was the way that they responded to it. Rioting on 7th Avenue, right? Climbing poles, right? Beating up Pacer fans in the streets and shit like that. It's like, bro, it is a second round matchup. You guys you didn't win the Eastern Conference Finals. You made it. And you're acting like this is like the great, like, oh, we fucking won the whole thing. You don't have one more round to go. You got two. And then you came out at home and you lose both. And including one of the greatest fucking collapses in NBA history. Embarrassing. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on that. Go Pacers. All right. Next up. But what you said before about, I hope Karen's defense team takes his advice. Let's talk strategy, right? What is her, because Karen Reed's defense is going to start this week. We got 𝗀𝗃 left, and then I think that's it. I don't think they're going to call 𝗃𝗄𝗏. I mean, looking at their witness list, guys, let's take a look at their witness list again, shall we? All right. So again, the people in pink are people that they're not going to call. He's too afraid to call. Yellow, he's already called. All right. And then white, I'm not sure. So at this point, I'm very confident we're going to put Matt McCabe here in pink. He ain't getting called. Julie Nagel is not going to get called. Rebecca Trayers, bartender, is not going to get called. They already established she was drinking. Anthony 𝗃𝗏𝗏 is the only one where, because he says that he claims that she said, I hit him. So he has not called him yet. So I don't know why. Apparently he's got enough. Maybe he's got enough out of the other two. I don't know. Terry Kuhn has not gone yet. And we'll talk about her. Christine Hanley, she is now gone. She was so nervous up there, man. She thinks Karen Reed's innocent. I'm positive of that. Man Shannon, of course, has gone. I don't think Colleen Crawford's going to go at this point. We'll talk about James Crosby. Andrew Clean's not going to go. He's the former trooper from the Cars unit. He's not going to go. Maroli, the dog killer, he's not going to go. Justin Rice from the hospital, he was kind of a dick last time. He's not going to go. And Judd the Chud, Dr. Wolf is gone, so we can put him in yellow. All right. So that's it. So we got Judd the Chud, James Crosby. No, this one's not going to go either. We'll put her in pink. I don't even know who she is. Sophie. She's good. And then we got Terry Coon. So Terry Coon is the woman who tested John's sleeve, not his sleeve, a swab that Proctor sent her at the UC Davis lab, which he claims is from John's sleeve. And she tested it for dog DNA, and she said there's no dog DNA on it. So, you tell me. You tell me who did that. But anyway, Terry Coon and Jim Crosby have not gone yet. So I posted this on Twitter the other day. I'm like, are they not going to call him? And then the chat, luckily, everybody's smarter than me now, responds. And it's like, no, he's calling them for the rebuttal. This is so fucked up. This is so fucked up that this is even allowed to happen. I've never heard of this before. That the prosecution goes and then they're supposed to rest their case and then the defense goes. But because this is the Kearney case, everything's upside down. So Hank gets to go and then they get to put on their defense and then Hank gets to go again. So he's saving Jim Crosby and Terry Coon for afterwards. Right. And so, because you got Garrett Wing and you got Dr. Marie Russell. Both of them are going to say that John was bit by a dog. Okay. And so that's going to be a big problem. So he gets to bring out Jim Crosby, the YouTube guy, who's going to say the fake doctor there from Florida on YouTube, who's going to say that John wasn't bit by a dog. I guess. I don't know how strong that opinion is going to be. And then you're going to have Terry Coon, who's going to say that the swab she received had no dog DNA in it. It had pig DNA, but no dog DNA, which means Michael Proctor definitely touched it because he's a pig. So that I don't know what good that's going to do, though. I don't know how much that's going to. Oh, there's no dog DNA. Well, and then this can be like, so who sent you that? Oh, Proctor did. Oh, that's why. At this point, I mean, and the defense is going to call Michael Proctor. Count on that. You can count on that 100% that Michael Proctor is getting called this time around. Okay. So, and a lot of people are talking about strategy, like who are they going to call next? Who are they going to call from their list? And do I have a defense witness list? Let me get out of this one. Defense witness list, Kearney. Let's. All right, let's check out the defense witness list. See who they have to call. All right. Brian Albert. They're going to call him. I'm pretty sure of that. Or at least they should. They should call Brian Albert. Will they? I don't know. Caitlin Albert, probably not. Chris Albert, probably not. Colin Albert, definitely not. Julie Albert, definitely not. Kevin Albert, maybe. They didn't call him in the first trial, but I have questions, but we'll see. I'd strongly consider calling Nicole Albert because she is, if you want to talk about the dog and where the dog went and why she didn't wake up that morning. And honestly, I would just ask Brian Albert and Nicole Albert and all these other people. I'd keep it real simple for them. I wouldn't talk about the waterfall bar or anything like that, or did they search the house, or I would just ask them straight up, like, did you hear anything outside? So I wouldn't even like, okay, because they're going to say John didn't come in the house. So I'm going to say, did you hear anything outside? No? Okay. Did you see anything? No? Okay. In the weeks afterwards, when you drove by your house every day, did you see any taillight? because a whole lot of other cops saw taillight, but you live there. Did you see any taillight? Because taillight kept appearing. No, you didn't see any taillight. Okay. And they'll have some excuse about why they didn't look. I'm sure they'll have some lie ready to go, prepackaged, but like, let them put it out there, you know, make them unbelievable. And they got to show the video of Big Bad Brian Albert punching, like that video of him in Boston's Finest, like Sergeant Albert was 3 tours in Desert Storm. He, you know, and then he's like punching shit. And you're like, that guy, wouldn't want to get punched by him. Doesn't look like a good time. He's scary looking. He's imposing looking. Like, I don't know. I think you got to call him. I would call, let's see who else. Paul Mikowski is her PI. He's the one that spoke with Tom Kelleher and asked him for the footage. He's the one who spoke with the Michael Trotter from the DPW and asked who plowed the road that night, and was told that like it was Lucky Loughran. And yet, so he spoke with Lucky Loughran long before police did. I'd call him Nicholas Barros. This is a pretty much guarantee that they're going to call. And Nicholas Barros is going to be a great witness for the defense, possibly one of the best, like after Arco. Like, he is a police officer, man. He's a sergeant, and he's well respected. He's not from Norfolk County, so he's not infested by this whole thing. And he's going to get up there and he's going to say, last time he said that the taillight was cracked, but not completely broken. That when he said that, I'm like, oh, this guy gets it. He wants to talk more. And then the defense didn't cross-examine him because they weren't sure what he was going to say. I don't know if they've spoken with him yet. I would guess that they have, right? I would guess that they have, simply because he is, you have to, you're not going to call someone like this if you don't know what he's going to say. And this time around, they have exactly, Richie, like, where'd it go? That's the question. You have to show Nicholas Barros the picture of the taillight in the Canton police garage and say, did it look like this? Did it look like this when you saw it? And he's going to say, no, it did not look like that. That is going to be a Perry Mason moment when that happens. That's going to be a wow. What are they going to say? Because this ain't Lucky Loughran. They tried to paint Lucky Loughran as like, oh, he's retarded. He's colorblind. He's hitting basketball hoops. He doesn't like, because I thought Lucky was like the perfect witness, and he was a great witness. And they just look for ways to discredit him. That's all they did. You can't do that with Nicholas Barros. What are you going to say? This guy's a real straight shooting cop. And he's just going to say, no, it didn't look like that. Because I don't think the last jury got it, right? Like, they hear cracked taillight and they're like, oh, so she hit him. It's like, no. She cracked the taillight backing into John's car. Everybody admits it was partially broken. Everybody admits when she pulls out of 1 Meadows Ave at 507, taillight's broken. But how broken is it? That's the question. And I don't think, although they've said it a bunch of times, I don't think that was perfectly explained to them. You know, they really need to be walked through it. There's just too much information, man. There's too much information. This is so many weeks of information. We can't expect these people to remember everything. So closing is going to be extremely important, as is the rebuttal. Who else? 𝗵𝗂𝗺𝗺, they ain't going to call him again. They had enough of him. All these people. No. Ricky D'Antano, probably not. You know, I had a nice conversation with Ricky's brother. He stands out with us sometimes. He's a free camera read person. Ricky knows. I mean, I'm sure Ricky would. I told him, I'm like, I really wish he saw John go inside that house. Or that would have changed everything. And, you know, I understand he's going to have to tell the truth or whatever, but I really wish he saw that, you know. And he's like, oh, everybody does, you know, but like they got there a couple seconds after John got out of the car and was obstructed by the other cars in the driveway, and the people in Ricky's truck could not see him. So that's, you know, he didn't see him. Because from what I've heard, Ricky D'Antano is a street shooter, good kid, and was the sober one in that car because he was driving. And you know, I'm sure he wishes he saw him. I'm sure he thinks that Kara Reed's innocent. I'm sure he's conflicted because Ryan Nagel is his friend, and Ryan Nagel's sister was inside the house, and she's a piece of shit, which he probably knows anyway. But anyway, I don't think the defense is going to call him. Who else? DeChico, no. Devlin, no. Haggerty, he's the tow truck driver. I don't know if they're going to call him. I don't know if they know what he's going to say. Hartnett, no. Brian Albert Jr. I mean, if I was going to call Brian Albert Jr. or Caitlin Albert, I might call them just to keep it real quick. I would just ask him real quick. Number one, did you hear anything? Okay, no. And did you see anything when you drove by? Brian Albert Jr. didn't drive by, but Caitlin Albert did. And did you see anything? Just to reiterate, you'll see where I'm going with this. I have a plan. Jutras. This is an interesting one. They have not brought up the Canton Library video yet. And I don't know why that's not talked about enough. 2 minutes of video from the Canton Library disappeared from 12:37 to 12:39. At the exact moment when we thought Karen Reed would have driven through there. It's just gone. And the reason that they haven't been pushing it that much is the Commonwealth kind of gave the defense a layup when they were like, yeah. So actually she went through there she got home at 12:36. What? 12:36. Okay. We'll go with that. I like that one. That means she couldn't kill him at 12:32. We'll take it. But if Hank has been suggesting that actually she got home at 12:42, 12:36 is a mistake. He doesn't like his own evidence. And so we'll go with 12:42. But if that's the case, then she would have gone through the intersection at around 12:40, which means it should be caught on tape, right? It's just, I don't know, something's up here. If she got home at 12:36, then she should be seen going through the intersection at the Canton Library. Something's not adding up there. I might call this mofo. I don't know. Connor Keefe, no. Matt Kelly, interesting one. I mean, he's real simple. He's the firefighter that claims that he did not hear Karen Reed say, I hit him. Didn't hear it. The 𝗄𝗄𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, they're good. I like them. They were out with us during the standout, during the deliberations and stuff. They're pro Karen Reed. They think Karen's innocent. So, and they both testified that Karen and John seemed like a nice couple. They were lovey-dovey, etc. Lanker, I don't know if you'd call him. Just, I don't know what he's going to do for you. I don't know. Loughran, obviously, he's getting called. Allie McCabe, probably not, because they're not really good pushing the Colin angle, so probably not. Chubbs McCabe, I'm calling. I'm definitely calling Chubbs because he, again, a lot of things with him. He saw V-shaped tire tracks in the snow, right? But he didn't see a dead body directly in front of him. That's what? You added that detail, but you didn't see this? And how are there V-shaped tire tracks in the snow with far less than an inch of snow at that point? Why were you insinuating that a 3-point turn took place already? I mean, I was asking him that in that video. Like, what's up with that? Why'd you guys say he went south? Because that was back when they were saying death by 3-point turn. So, like, nothing was adding up then. Now they're going death by 24 miles an hour, 62 feet. Whatever. So I would definitely call Chubbs. But we'll see if they do. Nelson, no. Holly Price, I don't know if they're going to call any of these people. Liz Proctor, no, probably not. Michael Proctor, 100%. They have to call Michael Proctor. That's the $1 million question. And the answer has to be yes, period. They have to call Proctor, and they're going to. Tully, I don't know if you want, I think Tully was the best witness for them. I mean, you want to talk about that Ford Edge and why they didn't look into the Ford Edge. If they do call Tully, I would call him directly after Lucky Loughran. That's what I would do that. And I would be like, explain why you guys didn't look into that. Please go ahead. Tristan, I'd ask him one question, and it's not what time is it? It's or did Dave Portnoy sponsor? Are you being sponsored right now, young man? I would ask him, like, did you see a body when you drove by there at 2 a.m? No? Thank you. Also, why did you come back if you were supposed to be sleeping? What's up with that story? You know? So I talk about that. Keep it simple. I would call the beaties because I want to get it in the heads of the jury. Give them the complete picture. The beaties are victims in all this. The beaties are victims of the McAlbert crime family. And you just say, look it. So what happened to you? So you got a call from Colin Albert at 12:33? Really? Who? And you started talking about this? You started telling people about this? What happened to you? What? Oh, Jennifer McCabe told me to put a dick in my mouth to shut me up. Yeah, that's what she... How old were you when she told you to put a dick in your mouth? Oh, I was 16. Like, oh, we're going to horrify them? Put that girl on the stand. Put her dad on the stand. Her dad, Chris Albert, came up to her dad and told him to change his testimony and tell people that Colin never called him. Like, put the beaties on the stand. I'm all for that. Put the beaties on the stand. Now these people, 𝗀𝗄𝗆, probably not. Kelleher, I definitely call because we've never heard from this mofo. Why did you not come out? Why did you give solo cups but not your, what is the brand, Arlo camera? Like, what? How come you didn't show police that video? Oh, you said there's nothing on it and we're supposed to take your word for it? Okay. Annie Chung, I am 1000% calling. She lives at 32 Fairview Road and was awoken by all the firefighters and stuff outside and Karen Reed screaming, and she took pictures. And those pictures can be entered into evidence only if she takes a stand. You got to call her. I call Joseph Paul again just for the lulls. But yeah, there's that. And then here's their experts. They're going to call Ricky Green, obviously, the tech guy, Dr. Crash Daddy Wolf, obviously. And, you know, let him get into the, if Hank wants to push him, let him get into the harassment that his family suffered as a result of Hank Brennan and Hank Brennan trying to discredit the honorable Dr. Wolf and what his, or Jennifer Cofen doofus putting his wife's picture in a cute because she joined a Facebook group. You know, I would do that. I obviously called Dr. Rentschler, Maggie Gaffney. I don't know if they're going to call her. Derek Ellington. I forget what he does. I think he's forensic. I'm not sure. Same with Matthew Erickson. Michael Easter can't get called. He would have been an awesome fucking witness. Dr. 𝗲𝗄𝗧𝗂, she's going to testify that John did not die from hypothermia, which is a really important thing. We know about Dr. Russell and Garrett Winning is going to be such a dope witness. But I think the first witness that the defense is going to call is going to be this guy, Matthew 𝗵𝗂𝗏, because think about it. Judd the Chud is going to go and do his PowerPoint presentation starting Tuesday. And he's going to say that Karen Reed hit John, because they haven't said yet, and they're going to, that John O'Keefe was hit at 12:31. They have 12:31. Like, they're establishing that now, right? Through Man Shannon. So if you believe Man Shannon, then John O'Keefe, which nobody does with a brain, he's completely discredited. If you believe him, then John O'Keefe was his phone stopped moving at 12:32. And if you believe Man Shannon, the Lexus reverses at 12:32. But we don't know. We haven't heard this thing from his opener about like 75% accelerator or 24 miles an hour and 62 feet. We have not heard that yet, right? So that has to come out through Judd the Chud because he's really the only witness that they have left. So that's what's going to be fresh in the juror's mind. So who better to call at this point than the person to discredit that? And that would be this guy, Matthew 𝗵𝗂𝗏. We got to Google him. We got to Google this mofo. So, Geek Out Monday, meet defense expert Matthew 𝗵𝗂𝗧. Okay. 𝗵𝗂𝗧 appeared at a speaking event on EDR and the importance of collision reconstruction. And you guessed it, why in a passenger vehicle under 8,500 pounds, the airbag deployment is triggered. And so this is a long fucking stream. Probably should sit down and watch this whole thing.
Sorry, J2728 heavy.
Can't get away from that.
That's
certainly in my day-to-day work. I have to use it.
Radar. The field of possibilities is pretty vast when it comes to what is the event in question, since there is no set of regulatory definitions for it.
And are these generally set up for accident investigators? In other words, why does Freightliner care about events?
Generally, yes, right? There's not a whole lot of other reasons to put something like a hard brake recorder, for example, other than looking for these sorts of things. Although, to be fair, a hard brake doesn't necessarily imply some sort of accident has occurred, right? That can be generated with the truck just driving down the road. So there are probably some other uses, but I would say largely it's aimed at our community, despite maybe not
for every vehicle, from light duty to heavy vehicle. And it took a while to be
right.
Most everything on the road will have at least one of those spots will have an event data recorder. But sometimes we have multiple, and that brings up a whole other interesting set of challenges.
So I'm going to click. Sometimes when you read the comments on YouTube, you can see some insight, because this is 2 hours. I ain't watching 2 hours worth of shit. But I'm going to see the comments. If anyone's commented on this. Nope. This only has 543. But so many people are following the Karen Reed story that someone out there must have
market devices that you can find on them. So you have ELDs, which stands for electronic logging device. You think of your truck drivers have to keep hours.
Job really is also to record. On heavy trucks, it's just not the case. They're building them into, like Tim said, ABS modules or transmission modules. And so it's never the case of everything is really easy to do or perfectly aligned, because that's not what its main job is.
And then when you guys go to the inspection and you find that the wiring system is jacked and you're not able to just plug into the DLC, then you have to know every module that needs to be pulled so that you can go back and start to implement.
We're not in that position. And now you need to know, well, okay, of these 15 different pieces of data I want, which ones come from which ECUs? So which ECU on all these individual components is also this information, right? That's asking a lot. You need a lot of brain power or memory for doing that, right? I'm not having to remember how to do all the other facets of accident.
Proprietary saying with Rick Ruth on our podcast is that
I get so lost in all this shit, but I want to see if I can find anything.
Pulls in the data with heavy trucks. You have to what Matt was saying,
something that you would have access to through the fleet's portal if they.
And I don't know that we're ready for that. A lot of influencers for that. Clearly, government is an influencer from a regulatory standpoint, and the administration, what they designed it for.
All right, so I'm going to give Turtle Riders a little homework assignment here. Go and watch that. You can see it on, if you just search Matthew 𝗵𝗂𝗧, Charlotte, North Carolina, that will come up first, the Reddit link. Go watch that for me and give me the timestamps where he talks about anything applicable that could be used in this trial. That's your homework assignment right now. Okay. Because obviously we can't do that on the show, but go watch that. Give me the timestamps about when interesting shit comes up. Because this guy, like what he does is EDR data. So he's going to whatever, and he's better than Man Shannon. That's what they got, Man Shannon and Judd the Chud. So this guy's going to have to refute whatever they said and just point out that, like, look at, here's what this data, here's what this shit actually means. This does not mean that she hits somebody at this time. Maybe this comes up at this time. Like maybe when somebody's struck by a vehicle, it comes up as this in the EDR data. Like, I just have a hard time believing that the guy who faked a college degree and just lies for a living and is obviously not a very smart person, that guy knows, like, he's a scoundrel, that guy. And he'll say anything. I feel like just looking at this guy, he's sharper, he's better. I just have a feeling that he's gonna just roast. So I would call this guy first. It's not a sexy pick. I get it. It's not like all the others. Everybody wants Crash Daddies or, Lucky Locker was the first one last time or whatever. I think you got to call this guy first while the EDR stuff is still in their heads, because that's the last thing the jury heard. And quite frankly, it's the most compelling piece of evidence that they have, right? According to Ronnie the juror, that's what they were stuck on. It was like the tech stream data, this, the tech stream data, that. So they didn't have a tech stream data guy last time. They didn't. And now they do. So they gotta do that. you know, they got to call this guy. So I'm calling him first. So that's that. Okay, next up for Turtle Chats. I've read a total of 1 Turtle Chat. Okay. Loudmouth since 25 bucks goes, long story short, corruption in Massachusetts wouldn't be such a big thing if there were journalistic privileges. They're trying to make an example of those that call out the corrupt. I'm so sick of all this. Tell me about it. You're sick of it, Loudmouth. Tell me about it. I'm sick of it too. But again, thank you to all who joined. Speaking of, let me do a quick thing here. So we had a giveaway, not a raffle, a giveaway. A bunch of people entered to get a meal of food with me at Chili's for the Karen Reed Legal Defense Fund. We're going to be doing another one of these for me and probably my lawyers or something. And you're right, Joanne. Like basically, I treat Turtle Chats as like conversation starters, and I just you give me something to say, I'll talk about it forever, you know. But anyway, we're going to do one of these for my legal defense fund, but this one's for Karen's. And so I think we raised for this, was it over $5,000? Is that what we raised? Yeah, over $5,000 we raised for Karen's legal defense fund. And we're going to do a giveaway right now to see who gets a meal of food with me at Chili's. All right, so let me pull this up right now. No shenanigans. I'm not like it's not like the media randomizer. You guys ready? I've shuffled it a few times. So here we go. Let's spin it right now. Let's see who the winner is. Meal of food. Okay. Megan Friel, you are the winner of the meal of food at Chili's. I hope you like chips and salsa and deals because the food there is delicious. And you're going to love it. And we're going to have a great time, Megan Friel. So you can reach out to me. You can send me an email, turtleboysports@gmail.com. And Chili's is underrated. It is the fucking bomb, dude. So you're going to love it. You're going to have a great time. I'll show you all around. Let's show you the value menus. We're going to have a great time. So, and we raised over $5,000 for Karen Reed that way. So there we go. All right, cool. All right, next up. So reach out to me, Megan. Thank you. Holly sends 25 bucks, goes, you have so many fans and the McAlberts have so many enemies. I don't see any jury finding you guilty. Plus the First Amendment on trial as well. Don't let these fucktards bully you. You rock. Yeah. I mean, I don't see it, me being found guilty either, but you know, it's just like, and the fact that I have 12 jurors instead of 6 is a good thing because it's even harder to convict that way by putting it in superior court. But you just never know. You never know. What if they don't like me? You know, I'm very likable. I get that. And I'm going to be fighting for my life, so I will win that over. But you know, if I'm convicted of any of these charges, they're going to throw the book at me. Like, I'm going to jail. Like, it's going to happen if I'm convicted. My lawyers say, they're always like, oh, it's not going to happen. They've never seen it happen. I didn't used to think it would happen either. But now I know, like, what's normal is not normal with me. Like, normal prosecutors don't try to revoke your bail over doing a jig in front of a window. Normal prosecutors don't try to put you in jail because you say you hope someone dies. You hope they do, right? Normal people don't try to put you in jail because your side piece lured you over the house with a fake grand jury summons and a fake baby in a real driveway and a fake abortion and a fake domestic assault happens. And then the charges are dropped the next day, the second you get out. Like, that's not normal. None of this is normal. None of this is normal. And so, like, all the rules that should apply with me don't apply. And I am not trusting some Norfolk County judge. I'm not putting my life in the hands of some Norfolk County judge to show me mercy. If perhaps, and again, you got a million cracks at it. Like, you got all these charges. All they need is one. You convict me on one of these. Each one has 10 years. Like, that's not like a risk I can take. I can't afford to take that risk. I just can't afford it. So, like, you know, anyway, so there's that, but it will be okay. I'm in good hands. But you're right, though. It sucks. Like, that you have this huge army of people behind you. Everywhere I go, I get people coming up to me, thanking me for my work. Like, it's so, flattering. It feels so good to have so many people tell you all the time how much they appreciate the work that you do, the sacrifice that you've made, and all this stuff. And you're like, man, this is real everyday people saying this all the time. But then you get in a courtroom and the prosecutor is just saying the opposite. And it's like, it's the same way with Karen Read. It's like everybody in the world, the overwhelming amount of people think Karen Read is innocent. And then you get in the courtroom and you got the whole freaking O'Keefe family sitting there, and they think half the courtroom thinks she's guilty. And the judge is with them. And the prosecutor's with them. And it's like, wow. Wow. This is like we all like think about like if Karen Read was convicted, which I don't think she's going to be. Think of how helpless millions of people will feel if that happens. Like, wow. They can really do that. They can convict anyone of anything. That's what that would mean. If Karen Read is convicted of anything, that means none of us is safe. That means any person out there breathing air right now in Massachusetts can be convicted of any crime with no evidence, with tons of exculpatory evidence that you can just go to jail for that. That's a scary prospect. And it's like Karen's got raised over $1 million worth of legal defense fund. She has some of the most powerful people in the media and in influencers and people like that who have her back. Ernie Bach, like all these people, Greg Hill. I mean, you go down the line of people who are backing Karen Read, right? And you're like, but the judge doesn't. And Hank Brennan, so it doesn't matter because none of those people get to decide. And that's scary. It's just like, wow, it's a wake-up call. So, and it's not fair and it's not right. And if she were to be convicted, you can bet that her commissary would be filled every week and she would receive, just like I did in jail, on so many inspirational messages on the Securus app every day, but it would suck, it would suck still. And so, and we'd be fighting like hell to get her out of there, wouldn't we? The fight would go on. The fight would go on, but, it is what it is. All right. But yeah, I don't think she's going to get convicted anyway. So it's a moot point. All right. Thanks. Next up, Peter sends $25, goes, hi, Dr. Turtle. A couple of weeks ago now, when we were watching the trial live, I noticed Hank showed the jury 2 images of Karen's taillight. The early morning image prior to arrival of Fairview and one after. He was extremely convincing to the jury that both images were identical. Is something you think the defense needs to clear up with the jury? Cheers, Turtle from Sydney, Australia. The early morning images prior to the arrival of Fairview and one after. He was extremely convincing to the jury that I don't know what the question is, Peter. So thank you. I appreciate the money though. Haley sends $25 and goes, Your Honor, get fucked, respectively. Dr. Turtleboy Esquire, probably. Thank you, Haley. Iris sends $25 and says, listen, Turtle, support from 2,880 miles away. That'll be West Coast somewhere, I'm guessing. Stay strong and thank you for all you're doing. I appreciate that, Iris. Trish sends $10, goes, please address the question. There are definitely other people in Higgins' Jeep. Okay. I can see them in Microdot's video. Why aren't we talking about this? I see a person in the back seat, passenger side, head tilted toward the door, frame never moves. Could it be John O'Keefe? Okay. Also a front passenger seat and a rear seat driver's side. So you start, I appreciate the $10, but just because you put in all caps, please address this question. I have nothing to say to that because it's fucking retarded. I appreciate the $10. I do appreciate the $10, but what you just said is fucking retarded. And the quicker you get that thought out of your head, the less retarded you will be. Okay. John O'Keefe was not in Brian Higgins' car at the Canton Police Department. Full stop. Never, ever, ever say that again. Because you sound retarded. And again, thank you for the $10. But that, just because you give me $10, is not a get out of retardation pass. I'm still going to call you that. If in fact you sound, stop it. Stop it. John O'Keefe is not enough. Really? Really? Come on, Trish. Anyway, Katie sends $5 and goes, in your opinion, which video is more telling? The bar footage of Higgy or the police parking lot footage with the bag? Oof, now that's a question. That's a good question. I would say the waterfall footage. The more I think about it, like that footage that is the last time we see John O'Keefe alive. Is that footage? The last time we see him alive. Brian Higgins is yelling at him and being held back by Chris Albert. And what is John O'Keefe doing? He laughs at him. He goes, he was cocky, wasn't he? Drunk, cocky, big. And that's what I said to LV Cops when they had on there. They asked me, what do you think happened? And it's not really my thing what happened. I don't really, talk about that too much because I don't fucking know. I could be completely wrong. So I like to talk about what I do know. But what I do know is this. Brian Albert, Colin Albert, Brian Higgins, and John O'Keefe. What do the four of them have in common? And Matt McCabe for that factor, but I don't think anybody thinks Matt McCabe was in on it. What do they all have in common, right? Well, all of them weigh over 200 pounds, okay? And all of them are kind of have like that alpha male personality to them, even though we've seen Higgins' text messages and he's clearly a beta, but he projects as an alpha, and so it's like these guys, it's just, they're big. Like they get in the house like that and they're all drunk and they start pushing each other around. Someone's going to get fucking hurt. They're just too big. All of them are big. John was 6'2" and he was drunk and he looked cocky in that video. Didn't he look cocky the way he was carrying himself? He did this whole thing at the end there. You see this? He does this thing. And it's just like, that pissed Higgins off. That pissed him off. He was fucking pissed. He did not like him. Something fucking happened there. And Brian Albert normally wouldn't give a shit because he doesn't really know John O'Keefe. But what he does know is Higgy's his boy. That's his homie. And Higgins has been to the house before. That's his dog. They spent the whole day together, driving to some stranger's funeral in New York City, putting on their uniforms together and looking like real police. And, he's not going to put up with his boy. If his boy Higgy gets in a fight in his house, there's no question what side Brian Albert's going to be on, and he ain't going to break it up. And if Brian Albert's getting involved, what side Chloe's on. And I am more convinced than ever that Colin Albert is in on it, even though Colin Albert is kind of out of style right now amongst the Freak and Read people. I haven't forgotten Colin. I am 1000% convinced that Colin is the person who did something real stupid, right? Real stupid. Like pushed him down, hit his head. Fuck. Like the whole thing just reeks of Colin's involvement. And yeah, that's that. All right, cool. So good question. But again, the parking lot footage, like, dude, what the fuck's going on there with that bag, bro? What's happening? You got to call it. Wait, was Higgins on the defense list? They have him on the defense list, right? Okay, he is. Okay, you got to call Higgins. You got to call him. All right, next up. Justin sends $10, goes, my grandpa was a huge fan. Unfortunately, he passed away today from heat stroke during our family vacation to Disney World. R.I.P. Bubba. Jesus Christ, Justin. Well, sorry to hear that, Justin. Very sorry to hear that. Heat stroke too. Jesus Christ. And I hope I don't know what to say. He's a huge fan. I'm honored and privileged that I was able to entertain him while he was alive. And at least he got to go out in the happiest place on earth. That's what they say. So R.I.P. Bubba. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Justin. Dawn and Ed O'Neill. Isn't that Al Bundy? Ed O'Neill? Send $100. Woo! Thank you. And says, free Karen Reed and free Turtleboy. Well, thank you very much to Dawn and Ed O'Neill. Got a few more here to read that have started to come in because I have not refreshed this. All right. All right. Chris Albert Wave Dot sends $5 and says, Chris Albert testified about John O'Keefe wanting to know who was going to be at the waterfall that night, but specifically, where was Kevin Albert? Chris's response was, I have no clue. Do you know if Kevin and John had beef? Is the Ford Edge Kevin's or the Albert family vehicle? You know, Kevin and John knew each other. There was text messages between them in their phone. So I'm not sure exactly what the relationship was between them or how they knew each other, but because Kevin's never been called. So we'll see. Hotep Dizas sends $100. Woo, thank you, sir or ma'am. And says, thank you, Dr. Turtle. The same people who think OJ got away with murder are convinced Karen Reed is guilty. The same people who think OJ got away with murder. I think OJ got away with murder, but I don't think Karen's guilty. Funny how evidence matters in one case, but gets ignored in another. I'm not sure what the analogy is there. And I think that OJ is in fact guilty of murder, but I also think he was partly framed. Like, you can be guilty and framed. I think that OJ killed his wife. He had the means, the motive, the physical ability to do it, the fucking history of domestic violence, you name it. Like, he's a bad dude. So I definitely think OJ did it, and the DNA and all this other shit. But I also think that the glove was planted. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that both two things can be true at the same time. And I think Mark Fuhrman was racist and a bad cop. So you can, but again, and that's what I don't think he should have gotten away with it. But like, you blame that on the police, right? Like, if the police did a good job, OJ would have been found guilty, but they didn't. And so that's how, you know, that should have been a lesson. Like, even if Karen Reed did it, she should still walk, but she didn't do it. She's actually innocent. That's the difference this time around. That's the difference. All right. Next up. Blessed Mom from Texas sends $15 and says, Aidan, I totally agree. Your kids come first. I think once Karen Reed is acquitted, your charges will be gone. You know what? Blessed Mom from Texas. I'm not convinced of that. And I do wonder about that. I'm like, because that can go one of two ways. If Karen's acquitted, when Karen's acquitted, they could be like, okay, well, he was right. We're not pursuing this much anymore. I can't imagine them just dropping it, though. You know, after all this work, I can't imagine them dropping it. On the other hand, they could say, well, he was acquitted. She was acquitted because of his witness intimidation, and now he's got to pay for it. You know, I could easily see them being gung-ho about that. So we'll see. And just, they might put Spanky Brennan on. I mean, that was one of the things that I'd heard rumors about, that they want to put Spanky Brennan on my case. Like, he hates me. Wouldn't that be crazy? Or let them offer a plea deal with no felonies. Do not walk away with felonies. So that's, you know, so here's one scenario. Let's just throw this scenario out there. What if they offer me a 𝗃, which is a continuance without a finding? Like that, I would not want to take that. A 𝗃, because a 𝗃 means no conviction, no jail, nothing. A 𝗃 means that you have, but here's the thing. You know, a 𝗃 in theory would be nice, but you have to admit your guilt. You have to admit guilt with a 𝗃. You don't get punished. There's no, how a 𝗃 works is you admit sufficient facts, and in return, you don't get a sentence for it. you're basically get a year. You know, you have to admit they have the evidence to convict. You are admitting that. And obviously the trolls would have like I don't think they have enough to convict me. But if I think there's like a 5% chance that I could be convicted, that's not a risk I can take, man. Right? So that would be a real consideration. That would be a real, like, if I was offered a 𝗃 for all these felonies, which I don't think they would offer, right? I would not want to take that, because the principled part of me is like, I am not guilty. I have not done anything wrong. I have committed no crime. This is an attack on the First Amendment, and I need to stand up to this. That is what I want to do. That is what my, you know, an immediate inclination is to do, is to fight, right? But is that selfish? Is that selfish? Because I'm not just fighting for myself. There's 2 kids who are counting on me, who cannot be without me, right? They need me. And it's not just them. It's also a burden that I put on when I was incarcerated for 2 months. That put a tremendous burden on my family, right? My sister had to like take time off from work to get my kids on the bus every day. You know, my mother's not around anymore to watch them, right? My father's like getting older and he's going to have to, you know what I mean? It's not just you're fighting for anymore. There's a lot of other people who are affected if you are incarcerated. And that I'm gambling not only with my own life, but with theirs too. So if the state comes to me with an offer and says no jail time, you just got to take a 𝗃. I don't want to take that. I don't want to take that. That's like, because I'm not guilty. I want to fight. But is that selfish? And that's something that I have to think about, is whether or not that is selfish to fight. After a while, it's like, if I fight this, am I being selfish? And so that's something I have to put a lot of thought into, right? So I will take the advice of my lawyers and my family, and I will do what is best, not just for me, but for them. You know, and you say it's not selfish. It's like, but suppose I was convicted. Suppose I was convicted and I went to jail for 2 years or something like that, right? Yeah, that would suck for me, but it would suck for my kids too, a lot. And it would suck for my sister and my dad and, like, you know, everybody. It would suck for so many people. So like, is that, you know, if I have that option and then I look back on that and I'm like, I could have taken a 𝗃, right? But no, I gambled, you know, I fucked around. I played with fire. It's like, is that, even though I think it's not going to happen, even though I don't think there's any way they would convict me, at some point you have to just be like, well, you know, sure. Like the downside of taking a 𝗃 would be, of course, that they would come on there, like the trolls would be like, oh, he admits he's guilty. He didn't take it to trial. He didn't do that. And like, yeah, like I give a fuck what those people say. And then I would get over that in 5 seconds, you know, but it would also mean that I can't sue these motherfuckers. I also have a civil suit going, right? That a nonprofit in New York has taken up on my behalf. And we plan to file as soon as these charges are either dismissed or I am acquitted. But if I take a 𝗃, you can't sue if you admit you're guilty. You can't do that. So, you know, and I see comments like this. Okay. I assume this person's not using their real name. Stop being a pussy. Says the person who will spend 0 days in jail as a result of this. 0. So I don't give a fuck what people like that have to say. None. Because they ain't got no skin in the game. And they're far too big a pussy to ever do what I do. Ever. Kellyanne Cody, if that's your real name, you are so much of a coward that you couldn't even come fucking close to doing the things that I've done for John O'Keefe and Karen Reed, etc. Right? You're the pussy. You're the person hiding behind a fake name who doesn't have the fucking balls to go up to Jennifer McCabe and ask her fucking questions. That's what you are. So there's that. Anyway, Again, I'm just being real here. It's just something to consider. Next up. Oh, so she also says, Blessed Mom from Texas also says, do not walk away with felonies if possible. I support you 100%. I think God has plans for you. Lots of love to you, Aidan, Free Karen Reed, and Free Turtleboy. Thank you, Blessed Mom from Texas. I appreciate that. Angela sends $5, goes, I can't understand how nobody on Fairview Ave not having Ring videos available. How? I saw it on Twitter the other day. Somebody compiled a map from 34 Fairview to 1 Meadows. I wish I saved this, of every house that has a Ring camera video on that trip. There's over 100 that they could have pulled, and they didn't. They didn't pull any of them. And so that kind of, really says it all, doesn't it? So thanks. All right, next up. Dustin sends $10 and goes, have Jen McCabe or Higgins have been asked why they stopped texting, calling, or looking for John O'Keefe if he never made it into the house. Thanks, Turtleboy. I mean, they're just going to say they assumed he went home, right? Why would they call him? So thank you. I mean, it is interesting that Higgins didn't respond to Karen Reed's text that said John's dead, and that Higgins didn't even text her the next day. I mean, he's like, oh, you're good enough for pussy, but you're not good enough to, like, are you okay? You know? Yes, this is the one. Yeah, let me find this. Yes, this is the tweet. I gotta share this. I am Amy Lee had it. I gotta show you this. No, Amy Lee. I'm gonna follow her back. She had a good tweet about this. Can I follow her? Okay. By the way, you have no idea how many people sent us this whole aperture thing. I just want to be very clear. These are two different dinners. The Mass Bar Association is not the same thing as the Norfolk County Bar Association. The Norfolk County Bar Association honored Auntie Bev as their person of the year because they're a bunch of hack attorneys who all give her money. The Mass Bar Association did not honor her, and they were sponsored by Aperture, but that has nothing to do with Auntie Bev. You got to call them as you see it. It's not quite the same thing. So let me get out of this. So this chick had it. What day did she tweet? Oh, here it is. This is the one. See, Twitter's a crazy place. So she says, this is the route from the Albert's house to John O'Keefe's. Oh, I already retweeted it. Nice. And the white dot represents every single house or business that has a security camera. Why is there zero footage of Karen driving home? The library footage is missing 2 minutes worth of video from 12:37 and 12:39. I believe the footage was clipped because it shows her taillight was intact. I believe that for sure. But again, I mean, I don't know how she put this together. But just look at all the, she must have driven this route and like seen all the houses that have surveillance video. And remember this house? This is the house I stopped at and like knocked on the door. And I'm like, did the police ever look at your Ring camera video? And he was like, no. Okay, thank you. Then all these houses, like none of them do. That's impressive. That's impressive. So, okay. All right. So anyway, back to this. It says, Higgy from the Rip sends $10, goes, any possible chance at all that Proctor does a 180 and fesses up to try to salvage his reputation? Guys, I've said this before and I've said it again. No. Guys, Proctor got away with something that could land him in jail for the rest of his life, potentially. decades in federal prison. He got away with it. Why the fuck would he admit to that? Because if you're going to flip on all these other people, then you have to admit to your part in it. And you're going to face some years in jail for that. And he's got 2 kids too. He ain't doing that. I mean, he didn't want to lose his job. I'm sure he's like, that's not fair. But he should be thanking the heavens that is the worst thing that happened to him. Thanking the heavens that is the worst thing that has to it. Oh, is it a microdots map? I guessed from our drive. Okay. Maybe so. Okay. Yeah. Richie was with me when we did that drive. It was a good one. Okay. So thank you for that one. Aaron sends $5 and goes, I'm new to this, but if they brought up why the picture of the taillight and housing when it was on the car with scratch on plastic part of housing doesn't match the pic that was examined after it was removed, I have no idea what you're talking about. Thank you, Aaron. Again, I'm not sure what you're talking about. But I'll take your word for it. Next up, 𝗁𝗃𝗃 sends $10 and goes, I have to go back and find the trial day where Andrea Burkhart talks about the canine DNA and pig DNA. But she also mentioned what else was found. I don't remember the terminology, but it's gum tissue found in the holes in the sleeve of John O'Keefe's sweatshirt. I hope the defense figures out how to bring this up. I'd also like to know what kind of chew toys Chloe had. Most are made of pork or pig. Interesting. Thank you. Gray Space sends $5 and goes, 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 said they didn't know the tire moved in the ring video until the last trial. So why was Evan Brent taking pictures of John's Traverse on February 3rd, 2022? That's a great question. That's a really good question. Evan Brent did say that, didn't I? Think that's a really good question. Yeah, why would they care about that at all? Why would they care about that at all? That's a really good question. Thank you. Asarin Fish sends $20. He goes, listen, Turtle, I've got some days off this week, and I'd like to head down from New Hampshire to Dedham to show Karen Reed some support. Any insight on where to park or gather, and are people still watching the trial in real time? So I was not there all week. It was only 3 days this week. I had a lot of shit going on. I'm back. I will be, even though I didn't get in the court media, whatever, I'm going in. Fuck it. I'm going to try to get in anyway. And if they got an extra spot, I'll go in the courtroom. If not, I sit outside with the real people, the boots on the ground. Okay. And we hang out old school and we watch this fucking trial because we need people down there. And Rita Lombardi, if you're watching this, we miss you. We need you down there. You rallied people up. You got people fired up. We need boots on the ground down there. Fuck it. Fuck the buffer zone. Get your ass down there. If we have hundreds of people, dude, it becomes impossible for them to control. I know people are scared of, especially after what happened to Erica Walsh. But get your ass down there, man. Karen needs you. Justice needs you. There it is. Yes, Amy, I did pull your tweets up. Thank you very much. I love that one tweet. Thank you. Rita ran a really good buffer zone. She was great. We miss Rita. Rita, we miss you. Get down there, please. Let's go. Next up. And you could park in the registry of deeds. So Aaron sends $10, goes, I firmly believe Tristan had to come back at that point to take a Chloe out of the area with them. I'm 100% positive Tristan took Chloe with them back to his house in Easton. 100%. Lisa in Milwaukee sends $10, goes, guarantee Auntie Bev is going to limit the time for closing arguments because she's always in a fucking hurry when it comes to the defense. I know. Meanwhile, other high-profile cases like Monica Sementilli, yeah, she was related to that rich guy, right? Her trial had 3-hour closing per side. We're going to talk about some closings tonight. Thank you. And she says, love your content. Please say hi to my girl, Donna, and my guy, the real James McNulty. Thank you, Jimmy. I love you. Michael Bresnahan sends $50 and says, R. Okay, thank you. AJ White sends $25 and goes, why not Allie? She said Colin wasn't in the house when John was there. Why didn't the defense jump on that? Because she slipped. I mean, she didn't mean that. A lot of people bring that up. Oh, she said Colin was in that. It's a slip of the tongue. If you ask her again, she's going to say, I didn't mean to say that. So I don't know why people are so obsessed with that. She's not gonna like stick to that. Like, yeah, Jim, John was in the house. What? She's the weak link. Come on, guys. Use your head. Laura, and even if Colin was in the house and she admits that, they're not making Colin a centerpiece of this fucking trial. Laura sends $10, goes, I think the defense should call Caitlin Albert. She spent the day with her mom and aunt and was back at her mom's house. Brother's birthday the next day. Why leave in the middle of the night when your boyfriend is going to work overnight is not logical. Exactly. Because she's high maintenance, he said. MAGA Barbie sends $50 and goes, Dr. Wolf from ARCA is an expert in Toyota Lexus triggering events. He tried to get into it last trial, but Lally objected because it wasn't within their scope of what the feds hired them for. I suspect he will try to get into it in this trial since the defense hired ARCA to dispute Welcher. I posted a clip of Wolf saying it from the first trial on my Twitter. Much love. I will check that out, MAGA Barbie. Thank you very much. Erica's biggest fan sends $25 and says, did you see Howie's poll on Friday? I did. Which McAlbert do you dislike the most? Who would you vote for? Charges against Janelle being dropped too. I assume Janelle's charges are going to be dropped now. And we had a thing. We had Ratchet Madness last year. We're going to do it again this year. I got to start maybe this week. I just thought it was funny how triggered Kerry Lama got by it. And like all these people, they get so mad at Howie now. Like, you're going to go down. Bitch, you're not going to take Howie Carr down. Whitey Bulger couldn't take Howie Carr down. He's an institution. He's been doing this forever. Like, he's the guy he's afraid of, he's like Turtleboy. Like, I'm like the new Howie Carr kind of. Like, I'm following in his footsteps, but he's way too big for you guys. Like, I don't think the trolls understand that. He's way too big for them. You can get mad all you want about it. If you're not from around here, you don't understand. Howie Carr's a fucking institution in and of himself. You ain't taking him down. It's not going to happen. So be mad about it. Stay mad. All right, next up. Let's see. $10 from Emmy and says, what do you think about Auntie Bev talking to each juror when I won this past week? I don't really have much to say about that because I have no clue what it's about and I don't want to speculate. I wish I had more for you, but that's all I got. Jennifer Stockdale sends $25 and says, listen, turtle. Yeah, listen, maybe I'll see. Because that's why I got to get down to the courthouse again. Because I need to do a broadcast in front of this guy.
Listen, turtle. All right. Listen, turtle. All right.
Listen, turtle. Because if I have a broadcast and he's broadcasting next to me, he can't interrupt my broadcast. That's how it works. So next up, Loretta sends $5 and goes, hey, Turtleboy, sorry I can't donate more. Dr. Wolf saying he commonly sees people getting drunk and falling down was so good for the defense. I guess Hanky Panky was having some serious pucker factor in this balloon knot when his witness supported the defense. Send me a message if you want to send me a custom handmade crochet hat. Thank you. It could go either way. It's like, because that fits Hanky's theory that John got hit by a car and he was drunk and he hit his head. It also fits the defense's theory that he got in a fight inside the house and he was drunk and hit his head. So, I mean, it could go either way. I did see a lot of the feminist corner of Free Karen Reed with my friend Rebecca Lavoie from, I believe she's from NHPR, the public radio. I apologize if I got that wrong. I did a podcast with her last year. She's really cool. We don't align on anything politically, but we are 100% Free Karen Reed together, unite. And she pointed out, she's like that let me see if I can find her tweet actually about this. Yeah, NHPR, New Hampshire Public Radio. She said this. I thought this was an interesting tweet. She said, I think if you're a woman, you experienced Dr. Wolf very differently than all the dude commentators around here. We've all had doctors like him And that's why we see nurse practitioners instead. And then I read, I'm not a woman, so I can't relate to that. And then I saw, a lot of these responses to people from, let's see, then Peter 𝗝ecie, who's just a fat guy. You're upset by the doctor's ego, but you probably worship Alan Jackson. It's not the ego, it's the testimony. Okay, Peter, you're fat. Shut up. Yeah, and people like this gaslighting, mansplaining, medical conditions. He seems like a hack. And she says, for me, it was, I see where you're going here, so I'll just make it easier for you. Same vibe as, I know you think you don't feel well, but you're actually just fine. Again, I'm not a woman, so I've never had this experience. I know women are treated differently than men, and their experiences are different, and their perspective is different, so I can't really relate to that. But that tweet did resonate with a lot of women, it seemed, and I'm not sure if women got that vibe from him yet, but he did. I get it. I get why they'd feel that way about him, because he just came across as a little arrogant. I'm a brain surgeon, couldn't wait to tell you all the brain surgeries did. And I don't know. Do you have experiences like that with doctors? I don't know. But again, I didn't think he was bad. I didn't think he was a bad witness for us at all. I think that's why 𝗵𝗂𝗧𝘂𝗍 didn't waste that much time on him. But he did. I mean, he seemed arrogant. He definitely seemed arrogant, but we'll see. Yeah, I like Stonebridge better. Even though she had all the tats, she was still cool. I liked her. All right, next up. Adam sends $10 and goes, you and Karen have a lot of lawyers and even judges on your side. I have judges on my side, rooting for you and supporting you. Keep fighting and being a voice against systematic tyranny some of us fight against on a daily basis. You are bringing public attention to it, and that in and of itself is power. Well, thank you very much, Adam. Let me just read a couple Cash Apps here, and then we'll do the YouTube presentation. Let's see. All right, Courtney. Oh no, this is earlier. No, this is from Kayla sends $5 and goes, for me and my mom love watching you. Free 𝗃𝗃. Well, I love you, Kayla, and I love your mom too. So thank you very much. Carly sends $25 and says, day one, Turtleboy, Northern California. Thank you. I love how we got turtle riders everywhere. Again, we used to be a heavily masshole blog, and it's definitely think it's probably our biggest state still is Massachusetts, but it's no longer the majority. I'll tell you that much. So thank you. Holly sends $10 and says, if I were going to jail, I'm punching Jen in her face. Well, I'm not. So thank you very much, Holly. Judy sends $30 and goes, why isn't the ACLU supporting you? I contacted the ACLU. They don't do criminal cases. They do like people who have been sued by the government, had their rights violated by but they don't do criminal cases. But that's a good question. Because I've had people like the ACLU has backed me before. The ACLU defended me in a lawsuit in 2019 in Rhode Island, and they were great. The ACLU lawyers are good. If you get one of their lawyers, like you get and it was free. It was dope. I'm like, they're doing doing all sorts of cool motions. And I'm like, oh man, ACLU's got money, so it'd be nice if they were involved, but they're not. JJ sends $5 and goes, the OJ trial is on YouTube. Maybe next watch as a class. Yeah, it's been so long. Again, it would take forever to watch that, but I appreciate. We'll see. Robert sends $20 and goes, why didn't 𝗃𝗧𝗂𝗃 ask Wolf how long to die in the cold? I don't think he would know the answer to that. So thank you. Wendy sends $50 and goes, keep fighting the good fight, Daddy. Well, thank you very much, Wendy. And thanks for calling me Daddy. Megan sends $5 and goes, I'm an Okie turtle rider. Sending love and support. So there are Okie turtle riders. Nice. The Okie dokes out there. Speaking of, what's the score in the game today? What the fuck? The Timberwolves are winning by 40? Are we going to get a series here? Holy fucking shit. How did that happen? Wow. Wow. They were up by 31 at half. Good Lord. Who went off? Anthony Edwards, yeah, 30. Okay. Julius Randle, 24. All right, I see what you did. Thanks. All right, next up. I know you guys don't like when I talk about sports. Too bad. Christy sends $5 and goes, if you're talking sports, Caitlin Clark, the end. I know. Caitlin Clark is the new Tiger Woods and the new Serena Williams. She's like the inverse of that. You know, she is a white woman who is coming into a sport that is not dominated by people of her race. And she's just kicking ass and taking names, right? She's fucking awesome. She's more like, her talent alone is great. And she's the best. Like she's probably the best female basketball player in the world. But more than anything, she's the money maker. I mean, she's cash money. Like like the league is relevant because of her. She's a fucking superstar. She's a celebrity. And the WNBA should be embracing her like the PGA embraced Tiger Woods. And that, what's the tennis governing body? I don't even know. Whatever the fuck it was. They embraced the fuck out of the Williams sisters, especially Serena. But the WNBA is so fucking retarded. And the people in it are so fucking retarded. For the first time ever, the WNBA is relevant. First time. It's existed for like 30 years. It's been a welfare league sucking off of the NBA, and nobody goes to the games. Nobody knows anybody on the team, whatever. And then Caitlin Clark comes along, and now everybody wants to fucking watch the WNBA, right? And what happens? Fucking mediocre bitches like Angel Reese, you know, start pushing her around, giving her a hard time because they're jealous. That's all it comes down to. They're jealous. And meanwhile, they should be thanking their fucking lucky stars for Caitlin Clark, because the first time in their lives, people are going to their fucking games. Nobody gave a, you know why they're going to their games? Because you're playing against Caitlin Clark. That's why people are going to your fucking games. Nobody's going to your fucking games before that. So shut the fuck up and be nice to Caitlin Clark, because she is she's not only her cash cow, she's your cash cow too. Leave Caitlin Clark alone. Okay? Enough of this shit. Enough of this shit. Anyway, thank you, Christy. Mark sends $6 and goes, the lacrosse game is the big hurdle for your trial. I mean, whatever. It's like, show the whole video. Like, I go to the game, I ask her a fucking question. Why'd you Google how long to die in cold? And what does Matt McCabe say to me at the beginning of that video? Hey, tough guy. How you been? I didn't realize you were so small. That's what he says to me. And then he pushes me. Oh, yeah. They seem real intimidated. A lot of emotional harm going on there. To me, the video saved me. Sarah sends $24 and goes, listen, Turtle, thanks for bringing us all here. Well, thank you very much, Sarah. And Sean, early in the day, sent $50 and says a simple thank you. I love you, Sean. Thanks, my dude. Leanne sends $10 and goes, masshole here. Free Karen Reed and free Turtleboy. Well, thank you, Leanne. I know you've been on the Turtle for a while, so thank you very much. Brian sends $5 and goes, we 20%ers love the sports talk. Sorry, ladies. I think if I talked about Caitlin Clark all the time, everybody would like me. You know what I mean? So there's that. Love Caitlin Clark. All right, cool. So if anyone else wants their message read, click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat or cash at me at $sign Uncle Turtleboy. So again, I'm not going to sit here and play all the video from the week. Again, honestly, I canceled Tuesday's live show because I was just having I just needed a mental health day. I wasn't like physically sick. It was just the motion to dismiss and shit just had me thinking a lot. And I wasn't up for it. You know what I mean? Even though I got 6 charges dismissed, that was good. It was just like, really had me thinking a lot. Like the thought of going to jail is scary. Like it's a lot. It's a lot to think about. So I didn't really go over a lot of Tuesday or Wednesday shit. So I didn't talk about Dr. Wolf or Christina Hanley. And I kind of summed it up on the way home on Wednesday's show when I was driving to go meet the Glare for a meal of food. But you know, Christina Hanley, I think she thinks Karen Reed's innocent. And Alan Jackson did a great job with his visual there, putting it all together. And the big thing was they left the jury thinking, you know, how could they have done it? Like, could Proctor have planted? Proctor specifically planted it. Yes, he could have. That's what you got out of that. Now, I did the other day a little tweet I want to go over before I get into my presentation here. Oh, by the way, look how mad 𝗄𝗲𝗄𝗀 is. She's so mad. She goes to Howie. You are trash. I pray they have put you and the Boston Herald on their massive civil lawsuit case. Something is seriously wrong with you. She gets so mad. First of all, I love how they always talk about this civil lawsuit as if it's a real thing that fucking exists. There's no civil lawsuit. I welcome it. I've been begging them to sue me for a couple of years now, but nobody ever does. It's just too bad. Oh, and look at this one. Look what Kofendafer said. Trooper Proctor is the lead investigator. I was looking through some old tweets. I have so many screenshots on my phone, and then I came upon this one. I'm like, what the fuck? This is an old one, but she actually said that. All right. So here, check this out. So I think there's a lot to this, and we're going to watch some of the Casey Anthony closing argument tonight. And I have an idea, because they have seen so many faces and heard so much testimony. They just need to review it all. And I have some thoughts. Okay. Because this did not happen in last year's closing. First of all, an hour is not enough time. I've never seen a closing argument take an hour. Everybody gets 2 or 3 hours. Fucking ridiculous, an hour. But last year's closing, he cannot do it like that again. It was great. It was a beautiful, I've been over this before. Alan Jackson's closing last year is the kind of closing you give when you know you're going to get an acquittal and you want to have like just that moment where you're like, this is the speech. That's like, he kept telling him, you have the power. Are you going to let this happen? You alone, you can be the fucking hero for this. And like, some of them might have thought like, whoa, I don't want to be the fucking hero. Like, that's a lot. You're asking me to do a lot, you know? Whereas like, if you put it to them and say, here's what you need to do, here's how reasonable doubt works. Okay. And you have to be so fucking sure this woman's guilty. If you think she's guilty, that means not guilty. If you think most likely she's guilty, that means not guilty. Guilty beyond a reasonable doubt that needs to be explained to them. And you got to go over all the witnesses and explain how they expressed reasonable doubt. Ryan Nagel and Heather Max both said John wasn't in the car. Why wasn't he in the car? That's reasonable doubt. Could have been in the house. Lieutenant Gallagher didn't find any taillight. That's reasonable doubt. Didn't search the house. So we can't like say that no one in the Albert house was involved in this because he didn't search the house. What about, we didn't look at the ring camera across the street. That's reasonable doubt. Christina Hanley said the glass in the bumper didn't match the cocktail glass. And that Proctor is the one that found it. That's reasonable doubt, my dude. Nicholas Bradford says the hair could have come from any member of the O'Keefe family. That's reasonable doubt. Sarah Levinson didn't see a body on the lawn, didn't hear a crash, even though she was inside the house. That's reasonable doubt. Kerry Roberts is a liar. She lied to the grand jury. She didn't hear Karen ask Jen to Google how long to die in cold. That's reasonable doubt. Firefighter Jason Becker didn't hear I hit him. That's reasonable doubt. Timothy Nuttall admittedly has a horrible memory that he claims gets better with time. His story didn't line up with the dash cam video. That's reasonable doubt. Katie McLaughlin lied about her friendship with Caitlin Albert. Her story is discredited by the cat dash cam video. Reasonable doubt. Nicholas Garino says Karen was back at One Meadows at 12:36. That's reasonable doubt. Karen Reed's voicemails, all of those voicemails that they played are reasonable doubt because those could be the kind of voicemails you would leave if you think someone's alive. That's reasonable doubt. Lieutenant O'Hara said that taillight was not found until 4 unidentified cops showed up and started digging. I wish Alan Jackson grilled him a little bit more about that, about who found the taillight specifically, who did it. So that way you could say, we don't even know who found the fucking taillight. That's reasonable doubt that 4 mystery men showed up and then the taillight appeared. Dr. 𝗄𝗏𝗵, oh my God, the reasonable doubt with her. Couldn't say it was a homicide. Left open limitless possibilities for how John could have gotten the blow in his back of his head. And she said that there was no frostbite when there should have been. That's reasonable doubt. Dr. Isaac Wolf said that John fell and hit his back of his head, causing a gash that could have come from inside the house or outside the house, right? Or inside the house. That's reasonable doubt. We don't know. Bukkake, I mean, Jesus Christ. This was just off the top of my head. Probably missed a whole bunch of shit. He lied on the stand. He played dumb. He was dishonest. He pretended that Proctor wasn't the lead detective. He didn't interview so many witnesses. He didn't consider anyone else a possible suspect. There was no chain of custody. That's all reasonable doubt. Maureen Hartnett, the hair moved on the car. Why the fuck did the hair move? The solo in the blood cups was never tested. Solo cup blood, never tested. And she thought that 1 piece of glass was 2. Let's not forget that. That all needs to be brought up. Ian Whiffen manually got rid of the 227 search. Said Jennifer McCabe deleted hundreds of Google searches when she said she didn't. Did I even put Jen McCabe on this list? I didn't even put Jen McCabe on the list. Holy shit. Said that there was reasonable doubt. He had no explanation for why John's phone went up and down 3 flights of stairs on a flat street, except, and I wish they pressed him more on this, he actually said he did a fucking experiment on his own that he didn't document with the phone and said he got it to go up. What? That never happened. Vinnie Politan called him out on that. The cell phone battery didn't go below 40 degrees. That's reasonable doubt. John O'Keefe's phone could have been inside Brian Albert's house. That's reasonable doubt. Axiom, which is a reliable company, still reports the 227 Google search. That's reasonable doubt. Jessica Hyde said the original report said it was unknown why Jennifer McCabe's report said she did the 227 search. That's reasonable doubt. And we haven't even gotten to the defense's witnesses. We haven't even gotten to them. So much reasonable doubt. So now, check this out. Let's watch. 𝗄𝗏𝗵 is just a fucking alpha male in the courtroom, let me tell you. And I want to watch some of his. Let's see if I can find it. Okay. In the Casey Anthony trial. Okay. Let's watch this part right here. I want to show you this.
We take a look at who actually smelled what in the car. You have CSI 𝗵𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗍, who
he loves this shit.
Depending on who was asking the questions, you may recall. If Mr. Jane Burdick was asking him, oh, it was human decomposition. When I was questioning him, oh, it was decomposition. So he went back and forth. You may recall that time. You have Deputy 𝗺𝗫 and his dog, who was advised that this is the suspect's vehicle. And you may recall we did this small thing where I had each and every person who witnessed this dog inspection, and they all said there was only 1 car. But yet Deputy 𝗺𝗫 lied to you, and he told you there were 2 cars. If you believe him, you have to believe that 𝗺𝗏 𝗪𝗏, Michael Vincent, and Gerardo 𝗵𝗂𝗧 were lying to you. Michael Vincent, the other CSI person who says he smelled a dead body. Mr. Arpad Bas, and we'll get into him a little later. Cindy Anthony, who said that during her 911 call, but yet said so because this was her 3rd call and she wanted the police to get there quicker.
Again, this is what I would do. I love the pictures, and because you have to do the pictures. I watched his closing in the Aron Hernandez case too. 𝗄𝗏𝗵 loves chalks. He loves putting pictures on a board and do this. You have to do this, Alan Jackson. Please do this. Okay? Use pictures. And I would point out the people that didn't see the body. Every single person and what they said. Caitlin Albert said went by there. I guess that's what you have to call her then, or else you can't introduce that. You know, Caitlin Albert went by there. She said she didn't see a body. Boom. This person went by there. They said didn't see a body. Boom. One after another, after another, after another, after another. Show them. This is what, remember this face? This is what this person said. You know, a PowerPoint would, yeah, you're right. A PowerPoint would be just as effective too. I like the board. I like it more. You know, I like the putting up there. I like it. It's good.
Simon Birch, who runs the police tow yard. Now, you may recall that Mr. Birch didn't make his statement until 9 days later, after it was broadcasted all over the news, and in fact referenced news reports during his statements to the police. You have George Anthony.
I mean, that's a good one too. Timothy Nuttall waited 12 days to speak with police and say, I hit him. You could do a whole visual on when they were questioned by Michael Proctor. This person wasn't questioned until 12 days after. This person was questioned 18 months after. This person, blah, blah, blah. Just go down the line. This person didn't find taillight. I love it, man. I love it. Visuals in the closing.
Who did an incredible job of pointing out to 𝗬𝗎𝗄𝗆 the first night upon arriving, as soon as he arrived. And of course, you have Dr. Neil Haskell, the $40,000 man, the entomologist, who explained several theories. Now let's take a look at who didn't smell what. Karen Sanchez, the manager at the Amscott tow yard, the Amscott check cashing place where the car was. You may recall she said she smelled garbage. Tony Lazzaro, who went and got got the gas cans for 𝗄𝗄𝗆, and was actually right near the trunk on the 20th. Charity Beasley, the police officer who picked up the car and took it to the tow yard. Maria Kish, the girl I spoke about earlier, who sat in the back seat with her boyfriend, Clint House. He didn't smell it either. Sergeant Hosey. Now, he said he smelled something. He's a sergeant. There's a missing child. He's at the home. He's hearing lies. But yet, he didn't think it was sufficient to call the crime scene investigators. Why? Because the trash seemed like a plausible alternative. It was understandable if trash is in the trunk of the car for 3 weeks, that is probably the source of the odor. Deputy Ryan Eberlin, this was the young man who handcuffed 𝗄𝗄𝗆. He said he didn't smell a thing. 𝗬𝗎𝗄𝗆, the lead detective, who, again, like Hosey, was advised by George Anthony and still did nothing. His name is 𝗫𝗍𝗄𝗆, yes. Brendan Fletcher, a corporal, who said he did not smell anything and came in and out of that garage and that the trunk was open. Adriana Acevedo, another police officer who was there, that said she did not smell anything. Now, I know you heard a lot of evidence about the smell of this car. And if you look at, once 𝗄𝗄𝗆 is arrested, how many people you have to eliminate.
No, this is awesome. Watch this.
He didn't do anything. Cindy's explanation of the reason why she said that, at least one person. And even if you look at all of these people and give them the credibility that they deserve, you still have an abundance of people who did not smell something. This is a reasonable doubt. When you have this many people, this many people who are telling you a certain thing, you have to have some doubt. This is not one individual, like her boyfriend, who's trying to protect her. These are a significant amount of people from various backgrounds who have no interest in helping 𝗄𝗆𝗆 Anthony. And that's why you need to consider this. And that's why you may have a reasonable doubt as to who smelled what.
I mean, it's just so good. Like, I loved how he just starts eliminating them. And then, so this was a third party culprit defense, basically, is that the dad did it. George Anthony. I don't think he did. I think 𝗄𝗆𝗆 Anthony did it, but you know, it's interesting how he just eliminates them all. Like, imagine you did something like that and you're like, well, who had the motive to do it and the opportunity to do it? Well, you know, not Nicole Albert and not Brian Albert Jr. And you start taking all these out, and then what's left on your board? Higgins and Brian Albert. Who on this list didn't have the physical ability to hurt John O'Keefe? Nicole Albert couldn't have done it. Let's take her off. Sarah Levinson, no one thinks she did it. Julie Nagel, yeah, let's take her off. Let's take all these off, and then you're stuck looking at Higgins and Brian Albert. and you don't even have to accuse him of anything. And that's it. Just do something like that is fucking powerful, man. Like it just hits. Like that just fucking hits the way that this guy did this. And I hope the defense does something cool like this. Right.
The state of Florida talked to you
and then
presented to you a neighbor.
So let's get out of this one. Now they had two lawyers do their defense closing in the Casey Anthony trial, believe it or not. You see this. Their other guy, the Southern one. I see. His hold on, I want to play some more of this. Oh, what happened?
He was hired by the state. The only defense expert you heard from was Dr. Furton. But we had to call them all. We had to bring them to you because the state didn't do so. They wouldn't.
Why is this is good.
Is this a straightforward?
Hold on.
Chloroform was in the trunk of that car. Dr. Michael Sigmund.
I got an idea.
Another individual, another chemist from the National Center of Forensic Science testified that the main compound was gasoline. And they want to say, oh, well, the liner was removed. Well, the air is the air, especially if they're going to test something 6 weeks later. The person who conducted the air test and collected the samples in this case was Michael Sigmund, who is a state expert.
State expert.
He was hired by the state of Florida, not by the defense. He was hired by the state. He was hired by the state. The only defense expert you heard from was Dr. Furton. But we had to call them all. We had to bring them to you because the state didn't do so. They wouldn't. Why is that? Is this a straightforward, straight up prosecution? Are they giving you everything you need?
Think of what, and this has me thinking now. Think of what the defense could do with this, something like that. You get them up there and you're like, Brian Albert is a Michael Proctor, Brian Tully, put them all up there. These are all state witnesses and they didn't call them. We had to call them. We had to call them. Why do we have to call them? Because they didn't like what they're going to say. They didn't think that what they were going to say was going to be useful. They actually thought the opposite. They thought that what they were going to say was going to be helpful to Karen Reed. That's why. Isn't that? I mean, that's powerful. It's freaking powerful, man. They got to do something like that. That'd be cool.
Right?
Right.
When someone's life hangs in the balance.
To the violation of 5 of the fourth order.
What?
Overruled at this point.
Overruled. Auntie Bev ain't ruling
These are things you
it.
have to consider. The lack of evidence. You have to consider all of these things and take a look at it and wonder why some of these questions weren't answered. And why were these people hidden from you?
Why were they hidden from you?
Is that justice? Is that a search for the truth?
This is so good. This is so good.
In our state of Florida? Is that what someone deserves when facing trial for their life?
Oh.
I suggest to you that it isn't. And I suggest to you that this lack of straightforwardness.
It's so fucking good. I love it. What happened here? What part is this? This is part 3 now.
And then we come to Dr. 𝗳𝗂𝗃𝗺𝗺𝗺.
Hey, look at him with his visuals, one after another.
The medical examiner.
The ME. Yeah, let's talk about the ME.
She told you that she did an autopsy on the remains. This child had no broken bones, no evidence of prior trauma, no evidence of trauma at all. And she did it, and she sent out all of the toxicological exams that she could to try and make this case fit. They all came back negative.
Yes.
You heard the test for chloroform, negative. The test for Xanax, negative. All of these other drugs, negative, 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 negative. Cause of death, unknown. And that's where the science ends. That's it. And that's where we are here today. How did 𝗂𝗄𝗄 die? You would think that you can get a medical examiner to come and talk to you about medicine, about science. She has a little leeway with the manner of death.
I mean, I guess the volume's a little low. People are saying I can't. It's up as loud as you can get. So sorry about that. But and I see other people saying Bev won't allow this. You know, I don't look. Why not? I mean, I understand she's Bev, but why not? You're allowed. Why can't you use visuals? Again, Alan Jackson's closing. If you watch it last time, he had his rush, so it's not his fault. And again, he's coming from a different mentality that time. He's thinking they're up by 1 million, and they weren't. And so this is how you drive it home with them. You're just like, look at all these people they hid from you, because they didn't hide them from them in the first trial. They hid them this time around, and I think that's helpful. They hid Michael fucking Proctor from you. So I'm not looking for an inspirational closing argument from Alan Jackson this time around. And it is going to be Alan Jackson. Get it out of your head. It's going to be anybody but him. And so just get that out there, you know, get it all out there. Like everybody who they didn't call, you know.
And why wouldn't they have him do a report? He's the creator of the software. Why didn't he issue a report? Why? He's in Canada now.
Yeah, Lally had a
Nobody's gonna
timeline.
prosecute him for perjury. This is a police officer who works here, and he didn't say a word about this report until we called him and had to show you that there are no such searches of being 84 times for chloroform. The extent of the computer is this: 3 minutes worth of time 3 months earlier that have nothing to do with this case and everything to do with the MySpace posting.
MySpace posting. Again, this is what you could do with Hyde. It just show Hyde within Rick Green. Said this. Didn't refute him saying this. Shit like this helps. And emphasize, if Jennifer McCabe Googled how long to die in cold at 2:27, both the defense and the prosecution recognizes that Karen Reed is innocent, because there is no plausible explanation for why Jennifer McCabe would Google that at 2:27 in the morning if she thought that John O'Keefe was in fact alive. She would not Google that. And so they are dependent on you believing that search didn't happen. Did they prove that? Did they prove that beyond a reasonable doubt? I contend that they did not. Here's why. Even our expert was positive beyond a reasonable doubt that Jennifer McCabe did that. Their experts, in her original report, she said that it's unknown why that came up. The other guy works for Cellbrite. He just erased it himself. He admitted it to you. He also admitted that his competitor, which he says is a reliable company, also says that this happened. I'm getting so many thoughts. Go, if you have any free time, go watch 𝗄𝗍𝗵𝗧's entire closing argument in the Casey Anthony trial. You will get. I was watching this today, and I'm like, so many fucking ideas.
You heard evidence, ladies and gentlemen.
MySpace.
That Ricardo Morales posted this on his MySpace.
What is it?
At the same exact time that he was dating Casey Anthony. He also testified that he was dating her in March. March is the same exact month as these searches. If you don't know what chloroform is, and your boyfriend is posting things like this on his MySpace page, it beckons the curiosity of what exactly that is, especially to someone who's young. What is that? Is that true? Can that actually happen? It's not unreasonable for a young woman to decide to research something like this based on what her boyfriend is posting. And wouldn't you know, what is the first search before the very first chloroform search is? MySpace. Exactly where he posted it.
Right.
MySpace. Trial began since the moment this case began. It's out of control. And it's true. Casey made some bad decisions and started this, but it doesn't have to be continued. It doesn't have to be presented this way. This case does not have to come out this way. The truth stops here. The truth starts here. The nonsense stops right now.
Stops right now.
It should have stopped the moment you all raised your hands and chose to be jurors in this case and took that oath. Every single thing, all of that nonsense should have stopped, but it didn't. And this is what they want you to render a verdict. This is sufficient reasonable doubt, ladies and gentlemen, for you to say, you know what? I don't trust this evidence. This is proof, conclusive proof that I don't trust this evidence.
I mean, Casey Anthony did not report for 31 days that her daughter was missing. Karen Reed went looking for John O'Keefe after fucking like two hours. Like, it's like the exact opposite. And she still was found not guilty. And by the way, this courtroom is wild. Like, there's like comfortable seats in here. Like, I go into other courthouses, and like even Worcester courthouse is fucking a palace. And it's just like, you go in all these courthouses, it's so nice. And then you go in Norfolk, and it's just a piece of shit. The whole fucking courthouse. Anyway.
And on something so serious, when the law says I can reject part of it or I can reject the whole thing, it's just like there's an old legal adage that is reasonable doubt. All of these aspects, the way
reasonable doubt. Here's
the thing. If you don't know what happened, that's it.
That's it. Exactly.
It's proven to you that.
Yes.
That's it.
That's it.
It's over.
Karen Reed, if you don't know what happened, that's it. You don't know you might, You heard Ronnie's Ronnie's explanation at the last time was, well, she was there and he was there and they were drinking and went backwards. So she probably did it. If you don't know, they clearly didn't understand the instructions. If you don't know she did this, then it's not guilty. And I would even add, you cannot just say, well, if you think she's not guilty of murder, you can't just have a you know, what's it called? Like and just say, oh, sure, we'll call it guilty for manslaughter. You can't just have a compromise verdict. That's not how it works. Either she did it or she didn't. And if you're not 100% sure that she did it, it doesn't matter who fucking did it. No one else is on trial except for Karen Reed. You are not convicting Jennifer McCabe or Brian Higgins or Brian Albert if you vote not guilty for Karen Reed. She is the only one right now that matters. She's the only one who's on trial. So you're not throwing anyone under the bus if you acquit her. That needs to be made clear, because I think a lot of people in the jury might have been worried, like, oh, I guess, well, I'm not some of them might have been thinking like, well, you didn't really prove to me that Brian Higgins did it. Didn't have to.
It's not guilty on every count. Only the ones that were proven to you beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt come back. That's it. That's what our law is. And all the emotion and all the anger can never change that, because it works the same for John as it does for Jane, as it does for Casey. That's how we have our society. Those are the laws we have chosen to make the law equal for everyone, equal justice under the law. That's what we have. And you've got to follow it. The law is your guide here. Not myself, not Mr. Ashton, not Mr. Burdick, the law. And the law will guide you, and it already has.
That's up next. That's up next.
But this is what they must prove.
I got that one coming
not anything
too.
Less, because we will not accept anything less.
Oh, she's so fucking good. Fucking love this guy.
FBI analyst Elizabeth.
Hold on. More pictures.
Young, very eager FBI analyst Elizabeth Fontaine sees something on the duct tape as she's examining it. Something in the outline of a heart appeared on the corner. Okay, that certainly deserves looking into a bit further. Well, they then recover 30 feet away. You recall Mr. Murdoch, who processed the scene, had his computer with a computer program, and we called him to show you how far away this was found. And this looks nothing like the stickers were found at the home. Nothing. And this child had all kinds of stickers in her house. You're not going to find a small child like that without heart-shaped stickers in their home. There were also Mickey Mouse stickers.
Yeah.
The prosecutor, when they got up, their next question was, wouldn't you agree that this area was a trash dump? Playing on that anger again, playing on your emotions, trying to get you angry, to find and uncover things with documents and things like that. And she saw no. That's what happened here. She was arrested within several hours, arrested for child neglect. And they went out and got the evidence later. Okay, bring that car over here now. Forget all 7, 8 cops who were there that night. Today, it smells like a dead body. Forget everybody who saw it and smelled it. But today, it smells like a dead body. Let's get rid of the trash, because we don't want anybody.
I hope they watch this fucking tape. I hope they do. I pray, because that closing is going to be the most important thing in this entire trial, is the fucking closing. And I hope they get in, because I'm rooting for them, man. I'm rooting for them big time. And I want them to get it right. I do. Let me see if I have, there's one more chalk I want to show you that the defense did in this case before I show you the Aron Hernandez one, which I also have queued up. The other guy. All right. Here it is.
Not guilty.
All right.
Not guilty because the state hasn't proven.
There we go. All right.
There are
Look at this.
There are actions that he made himself about it. In all likelihood. Well, in all likelihood, doesn't quite make it.
Watch this. They need this thing. Bring this thing out.
How it means, how you can think about
Bring this thing out.
You may have other definitions. Sir, ma'am, all of you. If you have if you go and you listen to the rest of the arguments and the evidence and you talk about things, you just discuss it. Oh, sorry. Can you all see it? Okay. You may have an absolutely abiding belief now or tomorrow or whenever that's not guilty. That's easy. Not guilty. Done. You may decide it's highly unlikely that she's guilty. Okay, good. All these mean not guilty. You may decide that less than likely, unlikely, possibly not, may not be, perhaps. All these you be thinking, well, I'm not sure, but Maybe she's not guilty, possibly not. Maybe not be. Perhaps she's guilty. Also means perhaps she's not. Suspected. You might suspect that she's guilty. That's not proving guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Possibly guilty. Possibly guilty. In all likelihood. Possibly guilty. Probably guilty. Moving up the scale.
Yep, not enough.
Probably guilty.
Not enough.
Guilty of what? Probably guilty of something, but probably guilty of what? Still not. Guilt likely.
This is also for Casey Anthony.
I'm confused. I'm befuddled.
This is our.
All these sort of things go together. Guilt is likely. That's not beyond a reasonable doubt. Or I got a strong belief in guilt. No, no, and no. Unless the state has proven to you beyond and to the exclusion of reasonable doubt, then whatever these other, if these are your evaluation thought processes, or others may be in your own mind similar to that, there's only one answer. It's not guilty. It's not guilty because the state hasn't proven guilt. Now, there are a few things in the world that are absolutely subject to clear proof in our life experiences. Very few.
First of all, look at this fucking courtroom. It's weird. The seats, how comfortable it looks there.
People can talk about 100% this, 100% that, like Dr. G. The only thing I know that people are going to do, what 100% are going to do, is die. Anything else is 100%. We used to say taxes, but we know better than that now. A lot of people are not doing that. That's why we have a system that says the state has to prove beyond reasonable doubt.
Looks like a college classroom or something.
And if they fail to do that,
lecture
no
hall.
matter what you may think in this continuum, strong belief, guilt likely, probably going on down the line, your obligation is to, wait a minute, they haven't proven beyond a reasonable doubt. If they don't prove beyond a reasonable doubt, not guilty. This is not a trick. One of the things I was just also thinking about, going back to that list of evidence, it's bothered me because I don't know the answer. I don't know the answers to a lot of things here. You don't either, I'm sure. Mr. Bias was talking about Mr. Kronk. Why? Another question for you. Why would an uninvolved citizen, after calling the police about finding the skull, in a situation that is really just hundreds of feet around the corner down the road from the Anthony residence where all cameras are and so forth, nationwide lookout. Y'all remember that? Said so during jury selection. Why in the world would a man sit silent for 4 months? I do not know the answer to that. I do not know how it is that he testified that he took his meter reader stick and put it in the right orbital socket of that skull and lifted it. Yet the claim is that it was found embedded in the leaves and muck. Or was there in fact?
Again, you guys got the point. It's fucking awesome. Let's watch some of the Jose Baez from Aron Hernandez closing. Let's go. The second one where he was acquitted, not the first one where he was convicted. Because first of all, look who's here. Look who it is. Look, Madam Court Reporter, dude. She was there. She's there, dude. This is awesome. She's famous. Love that lady. She's not around this time.
They can dress him up, put his $500 designer shirt on.
So this is Aron Hernandez was charged with shooting some guys in Boston outside of a club, which he almost definitely did because Aron Hernandez is a fucking psychopath and didn't like being disrespected and will kill a motherfucker for no reason. And this dude, the dude who testified him was a bad dude as well. But I thought he was credible. But Jose Baez just had a great, think of what Jose Baez would do with Jennifer McCabe, something like that. Just watch. He does this visual again. Because he had one, Alex, I forget the guy's name, Alex, the guy that was in the car with Hernandez when this happened and claims Hernandez did it. I'm going to go back. Let's do his visual thing here. Watch how he does it.
They tried their best to throw more. The whole strategy is let's throw everything against the wall and see what sticks. What do they get you? What do they bring you first? They bring you a druggie.
A druggie.
Someone who admittedly tells you, I was completely partying that entire week. And those days were mushed together.
Alexander Bradley.
That
was it. Alexander Bradley.
There's a lot going on in Florida, ladies and gentlemen, where Alexander Bradley specifically told you that he can't recall 2 of the 5 days he was down there. He can't account for it. What does that mean? I can't account for 2 of the 5 days I was down there. He's doing what he does. This individual, I really don't know what he contributed. Drives a Jaguar, doesn't have a job.
This is great.
These 2 birds of a feather. And then he shot a month later. And you'll recall These guys, they're Deontay Thompson's friends.
Now you can't. I mean, these are such shitbags. All the all the witnesses against Aron Hernandez were the biggest shitbags. So, and that's basically his point. It's like, look at this guy. He's a fucking shitbag. This guy's a fucking, look at this guy. This guy doesn't even have a fucking job. He's a shitbag. Now, you can't do that with the McAlberts. What you can do is you put him up there and be like, so this guy says he never came in the house, although we don't have to do that in this trial so far because he hasn't brought up any of the people from inside the house. But you're like, this guy's family. This guy's family. This guy's family. Put the web together about how they all know each other. Proctor knows these people. He's good friends with these people, right? What would happen? Ask the jurors. What would you do if somebody in your family accidentally killed someone? How far would you go to protect them? What would you do? What if you had a close family friend who was a detective in the state police who happened to be assigned to the case? How happy would you be then? What would you do? Would you do you have kids? If you have kids and one of them accidentally, maybe a fight happened and something horrible happened, how far would you go to protect them? Get it in their heads like, oh, like what would you do? Well, that's why when I first found out about this case, I had a little bit of sympathy for the McAlberts. I didn't realize how evil they were at the time. So like when I first heard about this case, I was like, part of me felt bad. I'm like, oh man, what if this was a horrible accident? But then I realized what they were doing to Karen Reed was so evil that there's no excuse for it. Like you're throwing this on you're letting somebody else take this fall. And I felt sympathy for them for about 5 seconds until I realized who they were, because I'm like, we can all relate to that. And I don't give a fuck if you're out there saying some shit like that. If your baby, if your son who you love so much, right, does something out of character and some horrible accident happens, how far would you go to protect them? And don't tell me you wouldn't fucking go far, because you would. You fucking would. You would fight for your baby. That's natural, right? It's human nature to want to do that, to fight for your loved one. You'd want to take responsibility, sure, but you'd fucking fight for them, right? You go to the end of the world, exactly. So a lot of people out there be like, I'd tell my son to fucking come clean and do life in prison. No, you wouldn't. You fucking wouldn't. And that's what the jury needs to understand. Is that like, this is not implausible. This is not as crazy as you think it is. It's really not. It's really not that fucking crazy. Like you would go, if you had the means to protect your baby, you might do it. Don't fucking tell me you wouldn't. Don't tell me you wouldn't. That's not your initial inclination. Tits is like, please stop. No, go fuck yourself. I'm absolutely not going to stop. Because that's what people fucking come here for, right? Is the truth. I don't give a fuck if you like it. I don't give a fuck if you're like, oh, I will not stop. Don't ever fucking tell me to stop on my show again. Ever. Okay? Ever. Because I spit hot truths here. All right? But then you look at the total package and you're like, well, Colin Albert is a fucking piece of shit. So they're covering he's a piece of shit because they've been covering for him his entire fucking life. This didn't happen in a vacuum. This isn't a one-time thing for him. He's a piece of shit. And he got this way because his parents let him get away with fucking everything all the time. And he never has to take responsibility ever. Ever. And Chris Albert, and that's why Chris Albert is just as fucking guilty as Colin Albert, because he raised him. He's grown up just like him. You saw it with the C.F. McCarthy's thing. If my son ever talked to a woman the way that Colin Albert or Sam Nagel spoke to Meredith or to Kristen Anderson or the other women who were there that day, if they ever fucking spoke to a woman like that, it would be the last fucking time they did that. They would never, ever talk to a woman like that in my presence, ever. Ever. Talk to Turtleboy like that, fine. Don't talk to the fucking women. Leave them out of that shit. All right. And they don't. Chris encouraged it. He sat there and joked him on and refused to bring him inside. And that's how Chris Albert ended up. That's how Colin Albert ended up the way he is. Because Chris is a failure as a parent. He's not a man. He's a piece of shit. Okay. He's a horrible dad. He's a horrible person. And his shitty fucking kids are running wild. You saw Mighty Mouse there in that video. He's a fucking loser. You saw Colin Albert, how he is. He's a loser. The third kid's going around killing rabbits and fucking smashing up homes. He's a fucking loser. They're all losers. They're all pieces of shit maggots. All of them. And that's how they got this way. And so I lost any sympathy for any of them, right? All of them. Brian Albert Jr., I guess I feel he's not that bad. I mean, how can you be mad at big gay Brian Albert Jr.? But like, I bet you Brendan Albert's a piece of shit. I just look at him like, that guy looks like a maggot. I've never heard from him before, but he looks like a maggot, you know? It's like, so fuck him. And Jennifer McCabe is a piece of shit, and so is Allie. You know Allie's a piece. You know Allie's going to grow up exactly like her fucking mother. Exactly like her. Right? She's just a maggot. Anyway, back to this. So he's going through all these maggots. And like, look, this guy's a maggot. This guy's a maggot.
Sometimes people rise above and become successful. They don't forget where they came from. Many times when you're successful, you realize and you recognize that your past struggles and where you come from define who you are, and are really the core reason why you're so successful. We take adversity and turn it into sometimes something positive, but we don't forget where we came from, and we don't forget people where we came from. And Mr. Thompson is just one of those individuals, just like that. There were 15, 20 guys at night, each of the nights at 𝗃𝗍𝗄𝗄𝐺 Lounge, contrary to what Mr. Bradley told me. Mr. Gagars, the VIP guy, knows who Aron is, and remembered pretty vividly of both nights that they were there. Mr. Hagan tried to trip him up. Was it a Monday, Tuesday morning? No, he remembered each night and remembered that Aron doesn't have VIPs and celebrities. They don't have to pay to go up in the next level. You saw that in 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. That's because these bars, these clubs, they want celebrities in their bars because it's advertising. It's a celebrity endorsement of their product, and they want them there. And these 5 guys, not 4, for which Bradley testified to. You know, at what point, when the facts start contradicting Mr. Bradley, at what point do you send that meal back? How many cockroaches do you need in your food before you send it all back? I submit to you, all you need is one. All you need is one reasonable doubt. Especially when Judge Locke is telling you, listen with caution and great care. This guy has an incentive.
This guy.
And all of this is lies. He's lying to you about how many guys are there, who's there. Deontay told you they had.
Like, I like it. Just this Alexander Bradley can be Jennifer McCabe in this case. This guy, this woman right here has incentive to lie because she's trying to protect her family. Okay. And you would protect your family too. She's a down ass hoe. Okay. She's going to do what she has to do to protect her babies, period. Protect Allie McCabe, protect Colin Albert, protect Brian Albert, her brother-in-law, protect them all. Right. And she infects everything she touches. Everything you heard came from Jennifer McCabe. She infected Michael Proctor. She infected Steven Serif, who you haven't met because they hid him from you. She infected Michael Lank. What the fuck is she doing at Michael Lank's house the next day? What was she doing there? Why is she on the video talking to every single cop there? Why is she not giving John first aid? Why isn't she going into the house to get her brother-in-law out here, her first responder out here? Why is she doing all of this? Alexander Bradley can be, this case is, or Jennifer McCabe can be to Alan Jackson what Alexander Bradley was to Jose Baez.
Like 4 or 5 guys, 4 or 5 cars going there. You have no idea how long Bradley.
That is Madam Court Reporter. Yes.
His phone was returned, despite the fact that he lied about that.
It is.
And there are phone records of him calling. There are phone records. Now you can't. You're right. You can't place. I take that back. You can't place a person behind a phone. But his excuses to you is I have my 2 phones, but there are phone calls.
Oh yeah, she lied to the feds.
And one person's telling you. One person without.
You can't say feds though. You can't.
Who hasn't seen Aron Hernandez in 3-4 years, had limited interaction with him, is telling you we gave that phone back, but this man is telling you otherwise. Who are you going to believe? The drug dealer or the manager at 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃? This is another person coming forward and giving you a conflict in the evidence, a conflict in what Mr. Bradley is telling you. Lies from beginning to end, ladies and gentlemen. Lies from Boston to Florida. But they're going to ride him. They're going to ride him all the way home. Come on, Rocky. can't even give you his nickname right. This guy called him Rocky. Oh, he's Rocky. Rocky. He just can't tell you the truth because he's a parasite.
That was awesome.
He's got an incentive. And he's lying all over the place.
Dude, ride him,
They
Rocky.
can dress him up, put his $500 designer shirt on that
That
he didn't
was
work for.
awesome.
We all have to get up sometimes.
This is my
go to
first.
work.
This is my first time seeing
People
this.
have to get up and go to work, even when they don't want to, even when they're not feeling good, even when they just don't feel like it. But this man can prance around with designer shirts and not earn a penny. He's a career criminal. The last 14 years, but now he's got a legitimate trucking business that he's running from jail. We've cleaned him up. He's got a nice Burberry shirt on. The glasses are a really nice touch. Really nice touch. And then this guy testified about a gun that he loaned to 𝗵𝗂𝗄𝗃, but took it back before the shooting ever happened. They flew this guy from Florida to come here and tell you that. And they're giving all of them immunity. They're handing out immunity in this case like it's candy on Halloween. Mr. Hagen is the next Oprah Winfrey. You got immunity. You got immunity. We're all got immunity. Everybody's got immunity. That's not how you build a case. That's not how you present a case. You're not the Oprah Winfrey of immunity. It's absurd. It flies in the face of reality. It doesn't even pass the laugh test. But they will come here and put a man's life in the balance because he's an NFL football player. It's a nice conviction. That's a nice thing to have. Facts be damned. Facts be damned. Let's look at what the other independent witnesses told you about what happened in Florida.
What else happened?
You recall the two gentlemen that worked outside the warehouse area? The warehouse area. It's an industrial warehouse park where this all happened. That's where drug deals happen in Florida. Where they bring in cars where you can't see them, things are going on down in warehouses. No people are walking by, especially at that time of night. It's candy land for drug dealers. South Florida. And these guys tell you they hear one shot. It's loud. It's not muffled inside a car. They can hear it from inside the building. And all of the evidence found at the scene tells you otherwise. There's a shell casing, ladies and gentlemen. It's an automatic.
Anyway, you guys got the point here. I love Alan Jackson, but fucking love 𝗃𝗍𝗂𝗍. He's just so fucking good. He's so good. He's so fucking good. He's sleazy. He comes across as sleazy, but he's just so fucking good, man. And Alan, that's not a slight at Alan at all. Alan's fucking the man. He's the best. I love Alan Jackson. That guy's so fucking good. You know, and maybe you can do too. Again, it's all unfair because of Bev. Beverly Kearney is the fucking just fucks everything up. You could have this awesome we could have Michael Easter out there setting all these motherfuckers straight. Like no more million sidebars. Shit happens in open court. Fairness. Could have all types of shit. But instead we got Beverly fucking Kearney and her mediocre ass. Unbelievable. Unbelievable how bullshit this is. All right, let me read some turtle chats here. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this tonight. It's been a different kind of show. We didn't show any clips of the Karen retrial, but I thought it would be an appropriate time to just get your brains moving and thinking about some possibilities for this. Now, again, we don't have any control over this about what the defense is going to do, and I don't even know if the defense watches my show like they used to. They used to watch my show every fucking night. When I was the only game in town talking about this shit, they were every night watching Turtleboy. Now they're pretty busy, I'm sure. And, there's a million other ways to consume Karen Reed content. And, but if they're still watching, right there, 𝗃𝗍𝗂𝗍𝘂𝗍. All right, cool. All right, let me read these chats. All right. Amy sends $10, goes, why does Paul O'Keefe never sit by his mom in court? What kind of son is he? He's a piece of shit. That's what Paul O'Keefe is. And I'm not going to say anything. I have a trial coming up in 2 weeks with the fake victim that I've been working on a lot. And it's going to happen during the Karen Reed trial, which sucks. But there might be some witnesses that will need to be called. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to trial on June 9th for the violation of the restraining order from February 26th, which is bullshit, and we need to win it. But again, Paul O'Keefe sits back there because he apparently was making faces at someone, Karen Reed, who knows, that made people uncomfortable, and he got yelled at and got sent to the back row. I know that, like a fucking child. Thank you. Alicia sends $10, goes, when Karen and AJ did the interview with Ted Daniels, Alan Jackson said, if I had a nickel every time I said, I've never said this in my life, like what I've seen in mass criminal justice system, I would have a lot of nickels. Exactly, Mr. Jackson. Right. Amy sends, no, I already read that one. Asarin Fish sends $5 and goes, don't read on air if you don't want to. I'm not sure if I would talk to your lawyers. Okay, I'll read that later. Thanks. Curious Ginger sends $10, goes, my work schedule changed this year, allowing me the time to get my boots on the ground and support. What has changed for us this year with Bev's hand on the throat of free speech? Exactly. It sickens me that my tax dollars give her an award. Anything about the pool that's no longer exists. Rumor. Okay. So look at, you know, you shouldn't, who cares? Who cares if you're not going to get arrested in the buffer zone? Just come and fucking sit in the buffer zone. Watch it with us. We'll have a great time. Get your ass down in the buffer zone. Lisa sends $15 and goes, my dad's anniversary of his passing is approaching. Just thinking of how much he would love your show. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you, Lisa. And, you know, I know what it's like to lose a parent. So God bless you. You're my thoughts. Mrs. Turtle, you know, sends $10, goes, Daddy, I truly believe the world would be a better place if the mainstream media reported like you. Thank you for standing strong and supporting the truth. Mr. Turtle, you know, I want to go back to Dedham for the defense's case in chief. Tell me when. This week. It will be this week. So thank you. A-Rod sends $10 and goes, Julie Albert saying she wants to buy a gift when it's over. She made 80 phone calls to Courtney Proctor. Oh, yes. She would be, I don't know if she's on the defense list, but she would be good. I guess Hanky never found Karen telling you to intimidate witnesses. Yeah, I never brought that up. Yeah, it's funny. They have my phone. I guess that puts that to bed, right? I guess there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I guess Karen didn't confess to Mr. Reed that she hit John. I'll tell you one witness that the defense needs to call, William Reed, Bill Reed. Get him on the stand. That dude is a fucking rock, and he will be so sympathetic to Karen Reed. It will be awesome. He'll tell you anything you want to know, and bring it. You can get it out of your heads that Karen Reed's going to go on the stand. That will not be happening. Fuck all these videos. It's just too risky. With Hank Brennan, he's not honest. You know what I mean? Hank Brennan will ask stupid fucking questions that are just intentionally dishonest. You know, like he might ask, like he asks questions with like information already in it, the way he wants to do it. And objections don't get overruled with him, you know? Like here's what would happen. If Karen Reed took the stand, Hank Brennan would ask her, like, so after you hit John, you left him angry voicemails, correct? Objection. Like it would just always be shit like that. After you hit the car, you know? Do you think that John got the dog bites? Didn't he ask Dr. Russell? I believe he asked Dr. Russell this. Do you believe that John got the dog bites before or after he was hit by Alexis? Like that's the kind of sleazeball this motherfucker is. It's just too, no matter what she says, the fact that he asks that question influences the jury. You don't need that, you know? Can you answer that? Yeah, he loves to answer that. Can you answer that? Can you answer that? All right. All right, next up. Stephanie sends $10 and says, I am new to this trial. Can you tell me what the story is with Erin Beatty and her dad? Do they have proof that Colin was looking for an alibi? No, they don't have proof, but they have evidence, I guess. Colin called her at 12:33, which everybody agrees Karen was gone by then. She had left by 12:33. So that would be right. If Colin was in the house and then they wanted to get Colin out of the house as soon as possible, it would make sense that he would call somebody looking for an alibi. And he called Erin Beatty at 12:33 and she didn't answer. So that's the best that she could say, I'm more interested with Aron Hernandez about what happened to her after the fact. Any harassment that she had to deal with from the McAlberts for telling people about that phone call. That's what I want to know about. Ito sends $5 and goes, does Brennan and CV throw a Hail Mary if it's not going their way? I don't know what that means. Thank you very much. Russell Jones sends $100 and goes, OJ had Furman, and thank you very much, Russell. Woo, thank you. OJ had Furman, and a jury's still angry over the Rodney King. Karen has Proctor and the facts. Plus, I definitely take Karen's dream team over OJ's. I was so young when OJ happened that I can't really I know Johnny Cochran was awesome and he played up the race angle, but I don't really know much besides that. Bev sends $5, goes, I sent you pictures of the dinner from the other night on Messenger. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Thank you. A-Rod sends $10 and goes, the defense needs to ask Tully why he waited till the Lexus was on the way on the tow truck to call the CERT team. Why wasn't the CERT team not at Fairview at 1 or 2 p.m.? They didn't need the Lexus to go look for taillight. If supposedly the taillight was at Fairview since 12:30, it's a good question. So hopefully they call him. The real Driveway Smith sends $5 and goes, Massachusetts is so fucking retarded. Agreed. Lisa sends $5, goes, has anyone in the courtroom also noticed the dishonorable judge signaling to the prosecutor? I don't really like to get into that. I know a lot of people do. I don't really do that. So thank you. Colleen sends $5 and goes, can boots on the ground have signs or just wear pink? Thanks again. You can absolutely wear pink, and you can have signs outside of the buffer zone. You can wear pink in the buffer zone. Let's go, y'all. Don't be scared. We need boots on the ground. My birthday wish today was for your and Karen's justice. Good luck, please. Say hi to my best ever Liz in Texas. Thank you. Awesome. Thanks, Colleen. Tina, the Turtle Rider, sends $50 and goes, thank you for being our brave leader and Meredith is so gracious to your fans. Yes, she did a great job organizing the Chili's fundraiser. So thank you very much. Next up, Carrie sends $5 and goes, Turtleboy, I sent you 2 messages the other about my brother-in-law strangling me. I have 2 daughters, 13 and 7, 13-year-old paternal grandmother pissed off and making an ignorant comment on my reaction towards posto. Again, you're sending me this whole thing about you, about your situation. I appreciate the $5, but I don't care. Okay. If I didn't respond to you, that's why. Thank you for the $5, but you got a whole long fucking turtle chat here about shit that has nothing to do with the Kearney case, which is what I cover. A lot of people want to just be like, talk about my thing. There's, millions of people watch this shit, right? Millions. If I got to talk about everyone's problems, like, what the fuck? So I'm sorry if you got choked out. Good luck. Okay. Sorry you got strangled. Okay. Thank you. Danielle sends $10 and says, I wish the jury could watch just one of your videos. It's so obvious what's going on here, but not obvious to everyone clearly. Yet keep up the amazing work. Me too. I feel like I could win them over. Thank you. Man Shannon's Degree sends $25 and goes, instead of ending the show tonight with 𝗵𝗑𝗄𝗃 𝗵𝗃, can you end it with night night, keep your butthole tight? I can't do that, but thank you. Justice for John O'Keefe and Karen Reed. Thank you, Man Shannon's bachelorette degree. Amber sends $25 and goes, thanks for all your hard work in this case. The 1241 voicemail demonstrates that Karen's car sensors go bonkers when it comes too close to anything, especially a human. They would have heard that from the house for sure. Thoughts? Her car goes bonkers? I don't get what you're saying. But certainly the sensors would have picked up on a body there. That doesn't mean you can't hit a body. But, my car, when I'm backing up, automatically stops me. But again, I haven't done it 24 miles an hour in reverse, so I don't know. Oh, yeah, exactly. If you think that was rude, you must be new here. I get a lot ruder than that. Exactly. Like, if you are in the wrong channel, dear, if you think that you've come to a place where I give a flying fuck about your opinion on anything. Like, I don't care at all. I don't care if you're offended. And guess what? Here's the best part. Here's the best part. No matter how offended you are or are pretending to be, you will be back on Tuesday. I will guarantee you that. You can't stop watching me. That's the thing. You can't stop. It's too entertaining. Okay. As much, even the people that watch me the most are the haters. Okay. You understand that? They clip fucking everything. They consume it. It's an addiction to them. They can't stop it. And you will be back, Gail. Just mark whoever fuck spoke ill. And is like, he's rude. That person gave him money. He should be nice to them. No, I shouldn't. Just because you give me money doesn't mean I'm going to be nice to you. Okay. It's a risk you take. And it's okay. It doesn't mean you can still like me. And it's something personal. I don't even fucking know you. I'm never going to see. You know what I mean? It's like, who cares? Get over it. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. All right. Anyway, back to this. No, not you, Brian Hale. Yeah, sorry you got choked out. I didn't know it was an awkward thing. Like, so I got choked out. Well, that sounds unfortunate. Better call the cops. Okay. Next up, Ryan sends $10 and goes, free Karen, free Aidan. I still can't believe the Celtics blew it against the Knicks. You know, they lost 2 close ones at home at the buzz. You know, like they had 20-something point leads. They blew it. They blew it. Good teams blow it sometimes. And I still think if Tatum didn't get hurt, I know they were down 7 when he got hurt. I still think they were going to win that game. But, you know, like I said, beat us when we're healthy and then beat us in 4 games when we're healthy and then come talk to me. Period. Next up. A-Rod Rodriguez sends $10, goes, I sent you the video of the foreman from the Casey Anthony trial about why they voted not guilty. Plus 2 jurors also spoke. Interesting. Where'd you send it? Oh, you sent it on Facebook Messenger. Let me see. I will save. I'll watch it real quick. Let's watch this real quick. Since we're so into Casey Anthony tonight, who, by the way, I think did it, just so I'm clear. I don't think she's innocent.
I'm being sarcastic, but, you know, you come home and everyone's mad at you and the media is outside hounding you and making it clear they're not leaving.
What have people said in these letters?
Honestly, I read probably the first sentence, and if it starts with shame on you in all capital letters, I usually just rip it up and throw it away because I know it's just going to be.
Tell me, though, that the original vote for the aggravated manslaughter was 6-6.
Correct.
And which side of the 6 were you?
The manslaughter.
So originally you thought that
Right.
she was guilty of manslaughter, or could be guilty.
Could be, and I wanted to investigate it further to see if it fit based on the evidence that we were given.
So what convinced you and the 5 others to switch your votes and vote for not guilty of manslaughter?
I think everyone will tell you the same thing. It's just lack of hard evidence. It's just, like I said, the duct tape and the chloroform and things like that. You could, if you took a good hard look at it, you could kind of, there was a lot of doubt surrounding all of those certain things. So there's not enough to make anything stick.
So you don't necessarily think she's innocent, but you feel you don't have enough proof to find her guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right. I don't know either way. Like, I mean, obviously it has not been proven that she's innocent, but it certainly has been proven that she's guilty.
The defense in their opening statement said that Casey Anthony's father molested her repeatedly when she was young, and that's the reason why she kept the drowning of her child secret. Do you believe that she could have been molested? Was there evidence that she could have been molested by her father?
There was no evidence, none at all. And that had no bearing on any verdict that was made. I mean, that was irrelevant. It was thrown out there, but never substantiated. So
did it bother you that it wasn't substantiated later in the trial? What happened was the judge said, you cannot bring this up in your closing arguments defense because you didn't present any evidence about it.
I really wish he wouldn't have brought it up. It's a disturbing image to have in your mouth. I mean, he painted a very graphic and disgusting picture. And if you're going to do that, at least back it up. And if you can't back it up, don't put that picture in people's minds. Nobody wants to see that.
And regarding the drowning, I mean, the only evidence that was presented were pictures of Kaylee climbing in the pool with her grandmother, standing near a screen door, a door which her grandmother testified she couldn't open. It's pretty flimsy evidence at best. And I'm wondering if you think there was a possibility that she could have drowned. Was there any evidence that convinced you of that?
There's no evidence that convinced me that, no.
So you don't think she drowned, you don't think she was molested. So what the casual viewer of this trial might say is, okay, well, how can we find she was guilty of murder?
Because it has nothing to do with what the defense presents. It's on the prosecution to prove what.
Yes.
They brought charges. They have to prove with their evidence that those charges.
Oh, that's a real interesting thing she just said there. Because she was like, I don't think she drowned. Then what the fuck happened? I don't fucking know. Same thing here. I don't think he was beaten up inside the house. Still couldn't vote. Still couldn't convict her. Still couldn't convict her. I like that.
Or, they can validate bringing those charges and that the crime was committed.
So you didn't believe the central points of what the defense told you, but you just felt that the prosecution didn't have enough evidence to convict.
Well, they had, like I said, they had good, strong circumstantial evidence, but at the end of the day, it was circumstantial, and there was not just one strong piece of evidence that said something definitively. Every piece of evidence could kind of said this or that, this way, that way. I mean, there were many different ways you could have gone with each piece of evidence.
I like that, man. Good interview. Thank you for sending that, A-Rod. I appreciate that. Okay, cool. Let me go on here. Joanna sends $10. Goes, I love what you're doing, Turtleboy. Looking forward to coming there for the week of June 11th from Philly. Nice. To support Karen Reed. June 11th, that's a Wednesday, because I have trial on June 9th. If you get there June 9th, you can watch my trial with the fake victim. Start off with a bang. It's in Dedham District Court across the street. It's gonna be dope. Thank you. How can I get info on where to stay and where to show support? I mean, I would just get a hotel in Dedham or some shit. Dylan the Welshman, who I love from the alternate corner, he's a real jolly fella. He's got like an Airbnb for like 5 weeks. I'm like, when I first met him, I'm like, oh, Dylan, nice to meet you, man. I wasn't expecting that. And I'm like, how long are you here for? I thought I was going to hear like, oh, here for like 5 days, 5 weeks. That's dope. That's dope. I love that. Respect. Anyway, back to this. Next up, Lena sends $5. Goes, hello from the UK. Listen, Turtle is my new favorite quote. It's stuck in my brain all day. I've recently introduced my mom to you. She's been told her stage 4 cancer is under control. Oh, thank God. Please, could you give a shout out to my mom, Deb? Congratulations, Deb. So happy for you. And tell her how proud I am of her getting through the last year. And of course, becoming a turtle rider. God bless you, Aidan. Thank you for everything. You really are a legend. Well, thank you, Lena. And I'm glad your mom beat cancer. Madison sends $5 and goes, look up Ohio versus Moore staged suicide trial. Her closing argument was great. She said, when you get into deliberations, write down every question the state hasn't answered, put it in the middle of the table, and that right there is your reasonable doubt. Ooh, I like that. Take every question the state hasn't answered for you, put it in the table, and that's, oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Thank you. Mia sends $50, goes, thank you, Dr. Daddy Turtle. Have you seen or heard the psychic? She says she was woken up and was there in the hospital room with John, and he pointed out 2 clothes on the floor. Okay, so Mia, thank you for the $50. Don't send me the clip. I fucking hate psychics. They're fucking gypsies. And if you're a psychic out there and that offends you, again, no offense, but go fuck yourself. Psychics are gypsies. They're fucking con artists. They do not have any powers that any of you have. Women love that shit, and that's why y'all couldn't vote till 1920, because you guys fall for psychics. Men don't fall for psychics. Only women do. That's why women love that shit. Okay? And that's why fucking Maureen Hancock, isn't she a psychic or some shit? That's why I won't watch her as a fucking psychic. I don't do psychics. Okay? I appreciate that. Anything a psych, don't fucking tell me about psychics. They're fucking gypsies. That's all they are. Gypsies. That's another word for a gypsy. Okay. Anyway, thank you for that. All right. Next up. I'm offending everyone tonight. Russian nefarious truck sends $5 and goes, Repla us the glare day 16. I don't know what Repla it means. Timestamp. Dr. 𝗺cie said she was given info from the hospital that a man went inside a house to a party and altercation. So who gave this to the hospital? This vital info. This also not English. Thank you, Russia. Leggy McMuffqueef sends $10 and goes, tell Microdots to stop stealing credit stop stealing content without giving credit. LOL. And Scott McGinnis needs to go to bed. Not sure what you mean by the Scott McGinnis thing. But I get what you're saying about the Microdots thing. So that video Jesus chick, I'm telling you, I could smell a fucking self-serving con artist a mile away. And that chick is full of shit. That chick loves talking about her fucking self. And she came after 𝗵𝗵𝗲𝗄𝗃 this week and like accused him of stealing her content or some shit. It's a fucking video that was played in court that she like cleaned up or some shit or whatever. Just like, and he stole that from, bitch, no one gives a fuck about you. Microdots is beloved around here. He's done so much. He was so valuable. The defense called him up and hired him. You know what they didn't call? Video fucking Jesus, because you're useless and you're fucking full of shit. And don't fucking come at 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃. That's my homie. Okay. And you came at Olivia Lambo and you did the same fucking shit. Shut the fuck up, video Jesus. I fucking hate you. Okay. You're fucking bullshit. Anyway, back to this. I'm in a mood tonight. I'm in a mood. I can't stand that. But like, don't come after 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃. Don't come after Microdots. Everybody loves fucking Microdots. And she's like, he didn't get, what? I'll show you your fucking tweet right now. All right. I'll show you your guy. I was sick of this shit. I just went at her. the other night when I was out. I saw this when I was out with Microdots, actually. And I'm like, nobody gives a fuck about you. I couldn't hold it in anymore. Oh, by the way, this is Nick fans. This is Nick. This is why this is them after winning a second round matchup. Watch this shit.
Oh, nah.
So she's trying to save the day. Oh shit. Yo. Nah. And we got to sit on camera.
Second round win. That's the kind of shit you do after a championship. You don't beat someone up after a second round win. It's inexcusable. All right. Oh no, I was supposed to show you my. Holy Paul Malls. Good Lord. All right. Let's see. Oh, I just had enough of her. She does this whole tweet here. Not a huge deal or anything. I just spent hours building a custom grade noise profile and scripting kernels with pro plugin tools and Python. Totally fine. Shut up elsewhere. Would have been nice to be asked, or I don't know, credited maybe. Had to be said. And so she's saying that Microdots like stole her shit. This is a fucking video that was played in court. Okay? You don't own it. It's not yours. It'll never belong to you. Nobody gives a fuck. Don't come at 𝗵𝗄𝗆. Leave 𝗵𝗄𝗆 alone. And I'm like, I go, shut the fuck up. That's all I got to say to this broad. Shut up. Okay? No one gives a fuck about you. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Okay. All right. I'm going to have to. Again, I don't usually monitor the chat, but it's not, I don't want to turn the chat into drama shit. So I'm just going to say right now, I don't want to hear anybody talking about, I don't need the Tom DeRozier drama going on in the chat. Just don't need it. Just not what this chat's all about. So I'd ask everybody kindly to just please, out of respect for me, just bring it somewhere else. That's all. Bring it somewhere else. All right. Next up. Okay. Courtney sends $10 and goes, okay, your chat is getting hijacked with Tom versus 𝗃𝗏𝗄𝗆. I think you might be yelling. Oh, I might be yelling at some chick that was telling Scott to just please stop. Oh, I apologize to whoever I told. If you were saying that before to me, oh, I apologize. See, I can admit when I'm wrong. If I was yelling, if I thought, I apologize to whoever that was. I can admit when I'm wrong. And I love Scott McGinnis, but I gotta put you in timeout, man. I can't have the chat hijacked with Tom DeRozier beef. Just can't have it. I understand we all have our differences with each other. This isn't like support. Did I just fucking lose my stream? Am I still live? Hold on. Am I back? I don't know what just happened. Audio. Okay, we're good. Okay. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah. So I don't really keep up with the chat that much during the show, so I miss it. But I just don't need the chat hijacked with drama. Just don't know what it's all about. Just not the place for it, you know. It's not the place for it. All right, cool. All right, anyway, again, that's not even taking aside in anything. I'm never going to do that. Just not here, please. That's all. Okay. Anyway, back to this. Holly sends $25 and goes, "Hey, doctor, I love your show and everything you've brought to the light in the Kearney case. Everyone in mass should be thanking you for exposing these corrupt pricks. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this video. It's a deeper look into the police dash cam from John O'Keefe's driveway, Kearney's car before Proctor got his sketchy paws on it. He says the video was altered." Again, I haven't seen that video. Guys, just basic rule of thumb, if the defense isn't raising that issue, I probably wouldn't put too much stock into it, because I see people love to, and this is what the video Jesus person did. Oh, I analyzed this video and I saw there's police lights here and the police were just follow the case. Okay. Follow the case. If the defense isn't making that argument with their client's life on the line, then, you know, I'm frozen again. Hold on. Am I frozen again? Doesn't seem like I'm frozen. Okay, good. I'm good. Okay, cool. All right, back to this. A-Rod sends another 10 and goes, "Jose Baez did Casey Anthony's case pro bono." Didn't know that. Casey Anthony did a documentary 2 years ago. It's on Paramount. One of the older lawyers and his wife took Casey Anthony in after the trial, and she still lives with them. I didn't realize that. But again, yeah, I mean, people like Jose Baez, I mean, it's like they view Casey Anthony case. I found out about him from the Casey Anthony case. It's an investment. And Alan Jackson is making an investment in Karen Reed, and they all are. They're all famous after this for the rest of their lives. They are the dream team, part whatever. But they got to get that. They got to get that acquittal. They got to get it. Okay. The other Karen sends. Hold on, I got some more to read here. No, down here. I'll start with this one, the bottom. Holly sends $25. Goes, "Hey, Dr. Turtleboy, no, you read the one." Yvette sends $25, goes, "Keep on trucking, Dr. Turtle. We love you from Texas. I wish every EMT, PD, and witness at 34 would be asked on the stand, did you hear Chloe or Cora from Bark?" Right. Thank you very much. I would ask the same. Tracy sends $5 and goes, "Hey, Doc, shall the defense emphasize to the jury during closing that it is not a DUI case? Love from Oregon." Agreed. Thank you. Canton's Crooked Town sends $5, goes, "Who else noticed the way Higgins and Farwell have the same type of clothing with the hoodie covering their face the same night of their murder incident?" They do have the same aura to them on the video, don't they? The Higgins walk and it's a murdering walk. It's a murdering walk. Thank you. Jessica sends $8, goes, "How come they haven't called Karen's dad or brother to ask about the taillight that morning?" Because they know what they're going to say. "I know they are family, but so are the Alberts. At least the Reeds come across as honest." Well, I bet you the defense they could call them. So there's that. Danielle Baker sends $25, goes, "Just saying hi and thanks for another great show. Trying like hell to get to Canton. Hopefully I'll see you. Much love." Well, you too, Danielle. Lynn sends $50, goes, "Doctor, can you believe OJ's trial ran 11 months? It did, from the jury swearing in, and it was sequestered. Wow. Anyway, can we get a let's fuck? Yeah, it's time to fuck. The fucking has already begun. I've been fucking for months now, right? I've been fucking I wake up every day and I just fuck. That's all I do with this case. Let's fuck. All right. The other Karen sends $10 and goes, "Daddy, if one of my daughters got in trouble with the law, I would steal any evidence and plant it, ran a fake death scheme, or anything I have to. I have something that you may use. Where to send info? You can email me at turtleboysports@gmail.com. I wouldn't frame anyone else for my kids. I wouldn't do that. But, you know, I don't know. I'd have to be in that situation, you know, because I love them. You'd do anything for your fucking kids. I don't give a shit what anyone says. You would. think it's perfectly reasonable to understand why the McAlberts would cover for Colin Albert if he did something horrible. Sarah sends $10, goes, somebody asked Karen once who did it, and she responded, we know who did it. Who is she talking about? Do you know who she thinks did it? Are you comfortable saying who she thinks did it? What she meant by that was that the people in the house did it. We don't know specifically who, but we know they did it. There's that. The turtle you know sends $5, goes, enough of my turtle chats. Here's a turtle rap. Got a big 𝗄𝗏𝗧𝗂𝗍 Yannetti and a little Jackson. She ain't letting us get an objection. If you trust the Commonwealth, you're probably in bad health. Julie Nagel. You can't rhyme health with health. Julie Nagel is fucking gross. So you know who's cool? Nick Barros. Leave the rapping to the doctor. Leave the rapping to the doctor. Thank you. The other Karen sends $10, goes, for closing, I believe Yannetti may relate more with locals. An option. Certainly an option. Maybe he does that. Maybe David does it. We'll see. Couple more cash apps, and we'll call it a night because it's getting a little bit late. Caroline sends $5, goes, never change Turtleboy. Well, thank you, Caroline. I never will. Pierpont sends $5 and goes, do we know there is a 1 hour closing this time? We don't, but I think you can anticipate it. She's not suddenly going to become fair. So there's that. All right, cool. Anyway, guys, I am going to call it an evening, but I appreciate everybody here. And we will see you guys all for the next episode of the live show, probably Tuesday, because there's no court Monday. Hope you guys have a happy and healthy Memorial Day. Remember the troops. That's what this is all about. Support the troops. Remember those who have sacrificed their lives for this wonderful country that we have. And even though we don't have, freedom in Massachusetts, there's 49 other states that have some elements of freedom still. So it's still not a bad country. Okay. All things considered, it's a bad state, but it's not that bad of a country. So anyway, I love all you fine people. Thanks for all the donos. Thanks for all the moral and the mental support. And, brush your teeth. Okay. Peace to your bum crease.
It calls for data including calendars, alerts, reminders, notes, text messages, pictures, or videos from April 1st, 2023 through and including October 5th, 2023. 7